January 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.22 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,320 per ounce. Zcash is trading at $49, and the average price of Bitcoin is $16,353. Antiwar.com reports breakthrough talks between the two Koreas are scheduled for Tuesday, the first time the two nations will engage in formal direct talks in just over 2 years. The talks will seek general improvements in relations and specifically the possibility of reaching a deal on North Korea participating in the Winter Olympics. North Korea's agreements to South Korea's offer came after an agreement that the U.S. and South Korea will be postponing any future military drills until March after the Paralympics. This is seen as a significant concession from the North's perspective. U.S. officials are not clear if they want the South Koreans to engage in such talks and have been quick to insist that their decision to postpone the drills was purely a logistical move and not intended to facilitate any talks. South Korean President Moon has been very eager to engage diplomatically with the North since last year's election, and it's likely that he made efforts to ensure that such concessions on drills were made, whatever pretext the U.S. wants to use.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Department of Homeland Security on Friday issued new guidelines about to what extent border agents may search the electronic devices of people entering or exiting the United States. The new directive replaces one issued by the Obama administration in 2009, giving Customs and Border Protection power to search travelers at the border without a warrant. Agents can still check electronic devices, but can only access items stored directly on the device, not information stored remotely or in the cloud. When travelers hand over their devices, agents will instruct them to take their devices offline or disable cellular connectivity. Agents are only allowed to access offline information if there is reasonable suspicion of law-breaking or national security concerns. The policy says many factors may create reasonable suspicion or constitute a national security concern. Examples include the existence of a relevant national security-related lookout in combination with other articulable factors as appropriate, or the presence of an individual on a government-operated and government-vetted terrorist watch list. With or without suspicion, agents are still allowed to view photographs, browser search histories, and messages. The rules apply to cell phones, tablets, computers, cameras, and other electronic devices. Agents can also request passcodes to access devices, and if a traveler refuses to unlock the device or it is otherwise inaccessible, agents can confiscate the devices. John Wagner, Deputy Executive Assistant Commissioner of Field Operations, said in a statement, "Customs and Border Patrol is committed to preserving the civil rights and civil liberties of those we encounter. Our authority for the border search of electronic devices is and will continue to be exercised judiciously, responsibly, and consistent with the public trust." Also on Friday, Customs and Border Patrol released statistics on the number of devices agents screened during the 2017 fiscal year ending September 2017. Agents searched the devices of 30,200 travelers, up from 19,051 the year prior. During fiscal year 2015, they searched only 8,053. The latest numbers account for less than 1% of travelers, and of those screened, fewer than 20% were U.S. citizens. The increase has some privacy law experts concerned. The ACLU, which has sued the Department of Homeland Security on behalf of 11 travelers who had their devices searched, described the policy as a step forward, but said it doesn't go far enough. ACLU Legislative Counsel Nima Singh Guliani said the policy would still enable officers at the border to manually sift through travelers' photos, emails, documents, and other information stored on a device without individualized suspicion of any kind.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard.
This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Japan grants suffrage to female robots. And a hypochondriac maple tree is always convinced it has Asian longhorn beetles. The following two statements are true. The previous statement is false, and this is the Onion Week in Review. This week, Americans nationwide were stunned to hear horrific allegations on Wall Street revealing that numerous junior bankers have been forced to survive on a mere $6,800 per week. The findings, which implicate numerous high-profile financial institutions such as Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and Citibank, suggest that hundreds of first-year bankers are constantly deprived of basic necessities, including penthouse apartments overlooking Central Park and regular company-financed vacations to the French Riviera.
Many of these bankers are 23 or 24 years old and don't even have access to an expense account of over $50,000 a year. Not only that, but some of them are making as little as 20 times minimum wage. I mean, this is truly disgraceful.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and we invite you to join us on the radio waves, where you can take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever you like. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And with you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian.
And Chris.
And Will.
Of course, you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Although on our mind tonight, cryptocurrency is once again the talk of the studio. International headlines will be telling you about China, what's going on over there. A lot of eyes are on China when it comes to the world of cryptocurrency, and that's because there's a lot of mining operations going on out there.
Yeah, well, you've got that. You've got a lot of actions being taken by the Chinese government against exchanges and ICOs and...
Yeah, there was a drop earlier in the fall when China did some sort of crackdown against the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchanges, and the price of Bitcoin dipped down a little bit, and then it came back up.
Right.
So
and they said something about ICOs, and it went down, and then it goes back up.
It doesn't matter what the governments do. Bitcoin does not care.
It is the honey badger.
Right.
It is the honey badger.
So we got some news about that. Of course, you're welcome to join us, and you can bring up anything that you want to talk about. Also in the world of cryptocurrency, Dogecoin has had a record market cap of $1 billion.
I'm sorry.
Much profit.
Wow.
Funny joke, such wow.
Exactly. I can't help but laugh whenever anybody says it.
It is a joke. Dogecoin started as a joke, and apparently the creator of Dogecoin is upset that it is doing so well.
Really?
Yeah, we'll share that with you as well. A toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Also, Skype username, LRN.FM. Want to also welcome our brand newest affiliates. Welcome to News Talk 96.7 and 1310 WNAE out in Warren, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Very cool.
You're originally, you were from Pennsylvania, not originally, but
I lived there for 10 or 15 years, yeah.
So good to be on there in Warren. Welcome to the program. If you're new to it, then you probably don't realize this really is an open phone show. It's not like Rush Limbaugh where he claims he's going to give you an open phones hour and then talks to one person. We actually have open phones all the time here on Free Talk Live, and you really can bring up what you want. So it doesn't have to be about cryptocurrency, but that's where we're starting tonight. And Chris, where is the story about China's latest crackdown on cryptocurrency? Do you have a news source?
I do. It's coming to us from Gizmodo.
Okay.
With its price dropping, sky-high transaction fees, growing traction among competitors, and regulatory agencies taking action in several countries, Bitcoin is starved for good news.
So was the price dropping at the time the person wrote this article?
Evidently, which could have been like, a half hour ago.
Right,
this was actually yesterday's article.
At 5 o'clock tonight, Eastern time, it jumped up. It's over $17,000 US right now.
Nice.
Not a record high, but inching up there.
But headed back up. It's kind of played in that 13 to 15 range for a while.
The last couple weeks. A few weeks.
Yep. Today marked another blow against the dominant cryptocurrency. China is working to rid itself of Bitcoin mining companies. Bloomberg reports. China authorities outlined proposals this week to discourage Bitcoin mining, the computational process that makes transactions with the cryptocurrency possible. Officials plan to limit the industry's power use and have asked local governments to guide miners towards, quote, an orderly exit, unquote, from the business, people familiar with the matter said. Miners have until recently flocked to China because of the country's
Cheap power,
inexpensive electricity, local chip-making factories, and cheap labor.
For listeners that don't know, the mining process, without getting too technical, because I can't, and if I could, I wouldn't want to.
Right.
But the mining process is basically you're turning specialized computer hardware. Originally, it was just graphics. If you had a graphics card in your computer,
even your PC, just your CPU, it started out there.
Bitcoin was CPU mining.
Yep.
Back in the day?
Originally.
Okay. So then it went to graphics cards to up the ante to more power, basically, more computational power, and then eventually to specialized computer hardware called ASICs. And these pieces of hardware basically just crank through doing very complex math, and this is what provides the security and the consistency and the constant checking, basically, of the transactions on the Bitcoin network. Is what the miners basically do, and they get rewarded for doing this. They get a 12.5 Bitcoin reward for finding what's called a block, and that means that they are basically writing to the blockchain. That's the guts of the Bitcoin operation. That's the essentially it's a public ledger that is distributed and decentralized all around the globe. The miners are writing into those blocks the transactions that happen during the period of time in which the mining was going on. So it's not mining in a like man with a hammer and a pickaxe or whatever in a mine, but it's the new digital version of that, basically. And the more competitive it gets, the more difficult the mining gets. So the more complex the equations or whatever it is that they're solving in there, it gets more and more difficult as more people enter. So if these Chinese miners end up getting forced out of business, are they going to shut down shop completely? Are they going to move to another country? What's going to happen to the Bitcoin mining world as a result of that? Because there's a bunch of them over there.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the biggest pools.
Well, that's just the thing, is the mining in China is what has inspired a lot of people that are, about this whole, our sponsors on the Call to Freedom, Vertcoin, the decentralization of mining is the miners in China. Like, that's when you sit in the chat rooms with these guys and they talk about like why they love ASICs resistant coins, it's because they're worried about the fact that basically China has centralized the mining industry, and all the mining power is coming from there, to where, like, if you have access to, like you said, it's only profitable to mine now if you live like China or Egypt or somewhere where the electricity is subsidized. And it totally skews the mining market in favor of China. And I'm against government regulation, but to me, this can only be good for the cryptocurrency world, because now it basically forces something to happen. Bitcoin has to fix itself now. Something has to be fixed with Bitcoin now. You can't sit on the backs of Chinese miners anymore. You got to get it together.
Bitcoin can do lots of different things, as any cryptocurrency can, in adjustments of the difficulty. And as the mining horsepower comes down, the difficulty eases. So it is, in a way, sort of self-regulating. I've worried about China for a long time. Partly that's because I spent so many years as a neocon. But what you have is basically entire, and it's not just Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is heavily mined in China. A lot of other cryptocurrencies are. Anything that's based on the Bitcoin design. So if my ASIC can mine Bitcoin, it can probably mine a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies.
But when you guys,
really, just to talk about the government being able to crack down at any moment and say, no, we want you to do it this way. In essence, that's kind of what we're seeing here.
What percentage of the pools? I mean, because I hear all this fear mongering, and the thing with cryptocurrency and technology like this new technology, is there's always somebody out there shouting about how dangerous it is. Centralization.
It's usually me.
All these miners in China, right? Like, we're used to hearing about how bad China is, but the reality over there is, for a communist nation, they're pretty darn capitalist in a lot of ways.
They've learned.
Those people know how to make a product, and they know how to make money. Their product manufacturing has gotten better, markedly better, in the last couple of decades. You don't always think of crap when you think of Chinese products these days. A lot of the phones and other things that you don't even think about.
You can now look at two Chinese products and tell which one is the product you want to buy and which one is the like worthless paper piece of garbage that your kid's going to break in 10 minutes.
Look at the iPhone. I mean,
are they making that in China these days?
It's always been made in China, as far as I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a range now. It's not just garbage. And so again, I don't understand. I get that like most of the companies there are some kind of state-run entity or something. I don't know how all that works exactly because the state sucks at doing everything that they do. So how is it that they can be involved in manufacturing and make that work?
It's kind of an epitome of crony capitalism. I mean, the capitalism that they do have is very, very crony. Mm-hmm. If you pay off the right officials, if you do the right favors, you promise
you get left
stock
alone?
Options. Yeah, you can do business here.
All right. So, but I guess I'm curious about like in China. Yeah, there's a lot of Bitcoin miners. But they're not all the same company.
Correct.
So what's the problem exactly?
We'll take a look.
More coming up here in moments. 855, 450, free like freedom. And how much of them are there anyway? It's Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zcash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zcash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and it's the live Saturday edition of the program. The toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. Well, if it's true that a majority of the hashing power of Bitcoin's miners is in China, I want to know why that's a problem and why that's centralization if they're competing companies that are doing it. That's what I want to get into here in a moment. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And speaking of cryptocurrency, we are definitely being supported by Bitcoin.com. It's a great introductory site for people who are brand new to the world of cryptocurrency. You're hearing us talk about it here. Maybe you've heard the news headlines about Bitcoin and how scary it is. Scary. Ooh, there's drug dealers and there's terrorists. And well, actually, it's money. So, of course, drug dealers and terrorists are going to probably have some of it. They've got cash, too. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with Bitcoin, like buy stuff online for discounts over at saveitpurse.com. And so many other things that you can do with Bitcoin. We can't even scratch the surface with the number of options and opportunities.
Get lots of free shirts from saveitpurse.com when they accidentally send them to you.
They send you 2 of them. They
do it to me all the time, man. Order 1, get 3.
So go check out Bitcoin.com. It's a great place to get started. We always try our best to keep our Bitcoin-related conversations here as understandable and as basic, simple as possible. We don't want to go too far off into the weeds because this is a general audience talk show, although sometimes we are pretty heavy on the cryptocurrency talk. So hopefully we won't, do that. We can all kind of keep each other in check on that because it's easy for us to like geek out.
Go inside baseball. Totally inside baseball.
On right. Bitcoin here. But it's an important topic, and that's why we're talking about it. I mean, this is a form of money that is really earth-shattering, world-changing. I mean, it's hard to really explain.
Not money.
Well,
money
it depends
is
on
a
who
legal
you ask.
term.
It depends on who you ask. Currency? Currency might be a legal term, too. I'm talking about a medium of exchange. I've never heard money as a legal term, but I'm sure it's defined in Black's Law's dictionary. Anyway, go to Bitcoin.com. Check out all the details there. Let's go to Jamil. He's on the line in Virginia on Skype. Hello, Jamil.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's on your mind tonight? Good. You're on the air.
Yeah, yes. The other day, you guys were talking about privacy coins and Monero, and so about the same time, I was, just kind of, just looking at discussions, trolling for information, and there were some threads on 4chan about Monero saying, namely, what caught my attention is that Monero is the coin, in a certain person's opinion, with the most long-term value, long-term viability because it offers privacy, and privacy what people honestly going to want in a cryptocurrency. Okay. And I've been following and hearing more and more buzz, just general buzz, and it's very credible buzz to me. And so I looked more into it, and what you guys, what was finally mentioned in your show was like how I cannot get Monero supported on. Monero's not supported on Jax. It's not supported on Konami. It's not easy to get into. Mm-hmm. It's got that barrier, and they're like, oh yeah, that's true. I see it on the exchanges, but just can't go and get it, and it has to do with the crypto note and the Ring CT. I think it's called.
Monero is more complicated to, I guess, set up mobile wallets for.
Tougher to develop for.
Yeah, Monero is very different from a lot of the cryptocurrencies out there. And again, I'm not a technician, so I don't know exactly, how it's different. But it is a coin that was designed from the ground up to be a privacy coin. It was started from scratch. It was not Bitcoin based, whereas almost everything, if you go out there and you throw a dart at the dartboard of cryptocurrencies and you throw 20 darts, 20 of them are probably going to hit Bitcoin based, something that was originally based on the code of Bitcoin and then modified.
Right.
That's what almost all of the rest of them are. Monero is one of the originals that was created from scratch to be something completely different, and so it's been hard for the wallet people out there to adopt it. Whereas if you want to adopt a Zcash or one of these other ones it's also privacy oriented but based on Bitcoin, because it still has that Bitcoin kind of library behind it, if you will, it's easier for the programmers to roll out support for those things. Now, the other thing that I heard recently about Zcash versus Monero, because these are like the two big boys as far as the privacy coin competition is concerned, from what I can tell at least. It seems like Verge is up and coming. But Zcash versus Monero, what I heard was that the supermajority of transactions on the Zcash network are not shielded transactions, meaning that the Zcash you can send public, meaning it's like Bitcoin where it's a completely public ledger, or you can send a shielded zero-knowledge transaction. And most people just aren't doing that, maybe because they don't know they can, or they just don't care, or they don't want to pay the extra privacy fee, or whatever. Whereas with Monero, as I understand it, every transaction is a private transaction. There is no public option.
And that's what makes it a little bit more complicated. A lot of the coins that are out there, a lot of them are based on Zcash, too. They're derivatives.
We got Zencash sponsoring the show, actually.
Yeah, and a number of others. But up-and-comers like Verge, that's also with their Wraith protocol, an opt-in or opt-out, whether you want it to be a private or a public transaction. I don't know if PivX does that. That's another one.
Yeah, Zencash, Zcash, and Verge are all privacy coins now.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, being a privacy coin isn't really, impressive in and of itself.
Well, we're seeing some robust competition in that space, which is good.
True.
The more competition there is in that area, the better.
Verge is quick, yo.
You like your Verge.
I like anything that's fast and makes me lots of money.
Fast and cheap.
Fast, cheap, and makes me lots of money. Man.
I love buying that Verge 6 months ago for less than a penny. What I do want to see, and this is something the market
has.
has.
What's the Verge worth now?
17 cents.
I bought it at 2.2.
I bought mine at 7.
All right.
I bought some at 7 too.
What I think is going to be interesting. So I think the three of us can agree, and probably the caller on the phone, that privacy is important to me.
Yes,
this is something I really, really value, and it's not because I have anything to hide. It's because it's nobody else's business. There's a difference between secrecy and privacy.
We talk about our holdings openly because we're promoting it. Like it's something that we want other people to do. So I don't have a problem talking. Like Ian will remind me, well, nobody else would know that you had that if you didn't say it. It's like, well, yeah, but I want to talk. I want to promote these people and talk about how awesome it is.
Keep going on that train, though.
Yeah. My thought is has the market really told us that privacy is important? And
probably not.
I think to some degree it has, because people have always assumed that Bitcoin is this anonymous cryptocurrency. You hear that all the time. But maybe I think there's definitely room technologically for a better privacy coin. The question is will the market adopt that? Will that go on the checkbox? Requirements for me to choose what I want to use to transact with. I hope so.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. Go ahead.
Monero's website says that makes it pretty clear that blockchain assets like Bitcoin, they're assets. They're like a store of value. They're assets. But to be a true currency, in a lot of people, in their opinion, a lot of people's opinion, it requires that anonymous use, not private, but anonymous. It needs to be anonymous to be a currency. I think a lot of people kind of hold that view.
Well, I mean, that would make it like cash, right? The idea being that in a cash transaction, nobody knows that the cash has transacted, except for the two participants. And I don't think that it has to be anonymous in order for it to be a currency. If it's a medium of exchange, whether it's anonymous or not, it's a currency. But ultimately, good call tonight. Thank you, Jamil. Thanks. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number tonight, whether it's money you want to talk about and the future of it, because we're pretty convinced that this digital cryptocurrency stuff is certainly the foreseeable future in money. Will it be topped by some other quantum currency or something? Probably. 855-450, free like freedom. If you want to join us here, this is Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to join us on the radio here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Will.
We're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts here. Coming up more on the cryptocurrency world with China apparently cracking down on miners. We didn't really get into a little further. Well, I think we could get further into that coming up here in moments.
Sure.
But, of course, your calls come first. And I want to let you know about Zcash. I mentioned to you earlier that they are one of the newest sponsors here on Free Talk Live. And you got to be careful when you're in the world of cryptocurrencies because there's a lot of scams out there. In the same way that there are people who want to scam you out of your cash, you do have to be careful. The thing with the internet is you can reach more opportunities and more scams all at the same time. So be careful. And so when they came to us saying they wanted to advertise, I was immediately suspect. Okay, we got a new crypto here. I'm going to do my due diligence, going to go look at this thing, going to look at the white paper and, see what I think about this. And then I saw in the white paper that the creators of Zcash are voluntarists.
Mm-hmm.
They're people who actually use the word voluntarism or voluntarism in their white paper. which was outstanding to me because I thought, I want to get behind a currency that not only embraces privacy because they've got the zero knowledge thing from Zcash, they've adopted that for Zencash. It also has a decentralized autonomous organization for governance, for a governance structure, and that's worked very well for Dash so far. So they've taken some of the best technology out there. But anybody can take the technology because it's open source. All these cryptos are all open source. If you're a coder, you can go and just take whatever code you want. So that's not hard to do, to take that stuff. But to back it by a philosophy that I'm on board with, voluntarism, is important to me. Zencash in this case, again, it was based on Zcash, but Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. And you can go and learn more over at zencash.com. Once again, that is zencash.com. Do your due diligence, though, and make sure you check this thing out. It's brand new. Some of the software is a little rough around the edges, so be aware of what you're getting into. Zencash.com. As we continue here, we'll take your calls and thoughts. We go to Jim. He's listening in New Mexico, actually listening to us on our free-to-air satellite feed. Hey, Jim.
Yes, hello. Thanks for taking my call there.
Welcome. By the way, just a quick technical announcement. We'll be running promos for this soon. I haven't made one yet. But the satellite feed over North and Central America is moving channels. So we're actually, the new channel's already online right now. The old channel is going to continue operating for the next 2 months, so through the end of February. So make sure if you are a radio station operator, one of our pirate station operators out there, or just one of our satellite free-to-air listeners in North and Central America, make sure you scan for the new channel. And the details of exactly where you'll find it, you can get that over at sat.lrn.fm, sat.lrn.fm. Anyway, thanks for listening to us on the satellite there, Jim. Go ahead with your thoughts tonight.
Yeah, okay, very good. I'll do that rescan. Yeah, I've been wanting to get into cryptocurrency and I've been thinking about it and looking into it, and my attempts have led me to see that you almost need a cell phone in order to receive the codes necessary to set up your wallet and get started. Is that true? I mean, I don't have cell service here. I live way up in the mountains, and we just don't have cell service here.
Mm-hmm.
But
you do have internet access there.
I do.
Okay. So there are some wallets that do not require a cell phone. So I'm guessing you've tried something like a Coinbase where you have to have a phone number to verify before they'll let you have an account, one of those kind of things?
Yeah, that's the only one I've attempted so far.
Give blockchain a try. Try blockchain.info. I do not believe they require any kind of cell phone number in order to get into that site. That's a great wallet. They've been around forever. They allow now you can have Bitcoin Core, sort of the BTC Bitcoin. They also have the new Bitcoin Cash that they just implemented recently, and then also Ether is their third one there. So you actually get a few different options with the blockchain.info wallet, and they also have a web wallet, which is nice. So you can use their website, or if you do have a phone, you can put it on your phone, but even then you don't need a phone number. You can just do that with a tablet that doesn't have cell phone service.
Right.
You don't even really need a wallet anymore. If you have the, I mean, it's not.
What
really
do you mean by that?
Well, it's not the smartest thing to do, but you can leave. Like I have, I don't know, a lot of currency on 3 different exchanges.
Terrible idea.
Agreed.
Do not recommend that to anybody ever, unless you're an active trader and you're willing to risk losing every single bit of that. As soon as that exchange gets hacked, you are going to be a sorry man if you've left all of your crypto on
stuff,
there.
Yeah. I use more than one, and I don't leave everything up all the time. I have stuff that I trade.
The more you use, the closer you are to one of them getting hacked. But anyway, go ahead, Jim.
So was that you said block wallet?
No, blockchain.info. That's the website. You can go there, and they'll get you set up with a web wallet, which is pretty easy to do.
Yep. And
okay.
Back
They've
in
been around a while.
Oh, a long time.
Yeah, they were one of the first. They were kind of the first mobile wallet out there. I mean, really, really early days.
They've been around for a long time, and they've serviced millions of wallets, I think, at this point for people.
Okay, well, I'm excited about getting started. And
good. It's never too late. Never too late to get started on this stuff. And then there's, like I said before, there's other wallets like Coinomi. So if you have, let's say you've got a tablet just a cheap tablet. You can get a decent tablet for $35 over at Walmart. It's an RCA tablet. It's an Android tablet. Don't go with iPhone or iOS. They're too expensive, and most of the wallets don't exist for it. So if you get an Android tablet, you can put Coinomi on there, and then you've got literally dozens of cryptocurrencies that can be held by the Coinomi wallet. It's probably the best multi-crypto wallet out there, and again, it does not require a phone number. It just requires that you have an Android operating system.
Yeah, and one last thing. With all these, and blockchain.info will tell you how to do it, but just remember this. Wherever you put your cryptocurrency, you will always have a set of keys. There'll be a public key that anybody can send to, and there will be a private key that you will never share with any other human being as long as you live.
Unless you really trust that person.
Unless you really, really trust them. Make sure that you're holding those keys yourself and not trusting someone else with them.
So you'd asked how you spell Coinomi. I think it's Coinomi. Any other questions tonight, Jim? Coinomi.
But okay, that's good. That'll get me started to get some extra information. I really appreciate that.
You got it, man. Thank you again for the call tonight. We appreciate hearing from you. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I always feel good when we get satellite listeners calling the show because there are people out there, and Will, you and I were just talking a little bit about the satellite signal here today because I'd mentioned to you off the air that our channel is moving. It's moving from one transponder to another, and the satellite service provider that we use didn't explain. I didn't ask them why. I figured that probably means the transponder is dying out, that they tend to lose power over time because they're basically blasting around the clock, out of these things. So over a decade, and our channel's been up there for almost a decade, like 9 years at this point. And so, 8 years, anyway, most of a decade. And these things only last for a couple of decades. The satellites, they have a certain lifespan, and then they fall out of the sky. And so they got to be replaced. So we're moving from one transponder to another, and you can get all the details about that over at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. And it's also got coverage maps, and you and I were looking at the coverage map today, Will, and I pointed out that in Cuba, satellite signals are illegal to receive. You cannot legally receive satellite signals in Cuba. And so people will disguise the satellite dishes that they have. They'll have one satellite dish in one location, and then they'll split the signal 50 times and feed all these different houses in the neighborhood. And
God, I'd love to hear stuff like that.
Yeah, there's all this underground satellite stuff. There was an article, I think I shared one with you off the air, Will, about these guys who were smuggling in satellite dishes. So they had Americans that were shipping satellite dishes into Cuba, disguised as boogie boards. So they had these satellite dishes were painted to look as though they were boogie boards. It was amazing. Unfortunately, they got caught, or at least that shipment did. More coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the Crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The Crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the Crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the Crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
People search the internet for everything, including you. With a few clicks, information from your past can be quickly discovered, from business deals gone wrong to misleading reviews, negative articles, and unflattering images. Studies show 78% of people search for someone online before doing business with them. Will they find the real you? With ReputationDefender.com, you can establish a positive internet presence. ReputationDefender.com pioneered the field with over a decade of experience, serving thousands of successful individuals and businesses. We use patented, award-winning systems to boost positive content and suppress negative material. Don't let the internet define you. Take control of your reputation today with ReputationDefender.com. For your quick, free reputation analysis, call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free here at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Will.
If you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, join Dash. It's digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are quick, and can be confirmed instantly if you want. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. And Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. So go to Dash.org and find out why. As we go back to the phones here, to your calls and thoughts. Whether you want to talk about cryptocurrency or whatever's on your mind, you're welcome to here on Free Talk Live. Robert is on the line in Vermont. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Robert.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, I bought a bunch of Dogecoins last year. I bought, 90,000 of them.
Wow.
And I like using my Doge wallet because it's easy. When you make your exchange, it's real quick. I don't have any complaints at all.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are like that these days. A lot of the cryptocurrencies are very, very fast. Dogecoin is one that came out as a joke a few years ago, but has become incredibly popular. It's in the top 30, I think, or something like that.
I'm not laughing anymore.
Well, I'm laughing at Ian.
You should laugh at me, too, dude.
Like,
I've been making fun of this for God knows how long.
Everything's fast.
I think it's
well,
number 28, I think.
When you compare it to Bitcoin, everything is fast.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's done very, very well. It crossed over $1 billion market cap. I think it's past 1.5 billion at this point. In fact, apparently the creator of Dogecoin is actually dismayed that his creation has done so well, and we can share some of his thoughts coming up here in moments. But
that's not the reason why I called in. A couple of years ago, there was this kind of like an outbreak of these skimming devices that were out there. You know, when you put your credit card into a gas pump, and then it can take all of your information and stuff.
I've heard about these.
And I wondered, those skimming devices, can you lose your cryptocurrency with those?
No. A credit card skimming device is a device used by a thief to steal data from the stripe on a credit card. So, they somehow adhere it to a gas pump or something like that, where it's usually an unintended location, and then people stick their credit cards in there not knowing that they're having their data lifted, so their card number, their expiration, the CVV code, I imagine all those things are encoded on that strip.
I ask this because I've seen what Dash has offered, to use credit cards and other cryptocurrencies. Could you lose your cryptocurrency that way, though?
No. Because you're not paying for the gas or whatever it is with cryptocurrency. So the credit card skimming devices are skimming only credit cards. They're not going to take advantage of cryptocurrency. There's no way they could do that. Cryptocurrency, you normally have to use a phone or some other kind of technological device to pay with cryptocurrency. So I'm not sure how that would ever even cross your mind that.
Well, even if you had a card, because there's cards out there that are backed by cryptocurrency, you can get the I can't remember what the name of it.
Oh, those?
Right. So yeah, you
could lose that.
Right, and if it skimmed the number when you used a skimmer and it took that, then yes, it could be sucking out your crypto in the form of US dollars. Right. So you could.
So, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. I thought you were asking about cryptocurrency because those cards, 99% of them are US dollar backed cards. So what we're talking about are like the BitPay card, bitpay.com, I think /card, where they actually have a Visa logoed card that you can get and load it with crypto, with Bitcoin, for instance. But at the time that you load it, it converts that Bitcoin into US dollars and then sets that US dollar balance on the card. So you just have a US dollar debit card that you sort of fueled with cryptocurrency. So anything that's in the form of a debit or credit card can be skimmed by a skimmer, in which case that can fake authorize, purchases and transactions on that card. So you would need to be very careful about that. But actually getting access to your cryptocurrency wallet, no, a skimmer cannot ever do that unless you're using the Coinbase Shift card, in which case, again, that's another card that in this case is backed by actual cryptocurrency, and then they shift at the time of each sale.
Sure.
So unlike the rest, but again, even then, the scammer is going to get US dollars.
Right.
Although you will lose your cryptocurrency in that case.
I'm sorry I didn't explain it very well, but I mean, it was just one of those things that I'd never heard of it being asked before, and I just thought that,
it's a good question.
No stupid questions.
You would need to
ask.
take the same precautions with a cryptocurrency-based debit card as you would any other credit card, because it's the same technology with the magnetic strip and all of that. Hey, thanks, Robert.
Thanks,
I appreciate hearing from you, which I guess is one of the reasons why you're starting to see some of those chips show up in these credit cards out there, though not all of them have them, and
I got
not all gas pumps have it either.
Yeah, I know. I got the Shift card. I finally picked up one of those from Coinbase, and it's a chipped card.
Oh, they got a chip in that, huh?
For what it's worth. But again,
thing is, I've never seen a chipped gas pump. I've never seen a gas pump that actually accepts the chipped card.
Right, and the enticement is for a vendor, a retail vendor. That has nothing to do with cryptocurrency, but you will have a lower level of financial fraud responsibility to the vendor if you accept chips. So that's why some do and some don't.
So did you guys update at your store for the chip?
Not yet, because it's we're kind of in the middle of a contract for our point of sale system, and once that comes up, then we'll go with the chip based system. But it would have been prohibitively expensive to switch transaction processors midstream.
Aren't you guys getting more cryptocurrency purchases at your little for listeners that don't know, you run Route 101 Local Goods, which is a little kind of cutesy gift shop, with New Hampshire based products that you offer in it. Aren't you getting more cryptocurrency purchases than credit cards, or is it just than some credit cards?
Than some credit cards. But it's really impressive to me. I mean, this is not, when you think of businesses that accept Bitcoin, I tend to think of like Newegg and and like high tech. In our store, you can buy a candle, or you can buy maple syrup, or you could all these more arts and crafts jewelry you can buy with cryptocurrency. We currently process more sales in cryptocurrency every month than American Express or Discover, and some months it's more than both of those combined. So those are always on the lower end of how many transactions we get, but this is crypto literally competing with American Express and beating them. That's amazing.
Already.
Yeah, and
right
nobody
now.
really knows, but it's cool.
And those people that do know about cryptocurrency don't really know much about it. So that's one of the reasons why we have these conversations, is so we can introduce people to these concepts. And the really important idea here is decentralization of money, and taking the power of money, which has always been in the hands of banks and governments around the world in our lifetimes, and devolving that power from those centralized institutions and putting that power of money into the hands of people, into the hands of whoever wants to have it.
And the whole conversation around crypto is always about it's a new kind of money. Well, in many ways, it's not. It goes back to what money used to be. It used to be things that people found valuable. They were somewhat managed in some area, and they were used, but it wasn't manipulated. And the manipulation of money, I mean,
which is what governments have been doing for a long time.
Well, yeah, I mean, Rome manipulated
since they clipped coins way back in the day.
Yeah, they've done all sorts of things like that, but this is a kind that makes it very, very resistant to that kind of manipulation.
Exactly right. Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE. Now, let's get back into the manipulation discussion, because earlier in the hour, you were expressing some concern, both of you guys, Will and Chris, you were expressing concerns about centralization of mining, and the suggestion being that most of the miners of Bitcoin, and most cryptos probably, are located in China. Now, I don't know if there's a way, some sort of IP address breakdown to actually, show what the percentage is, because I'm curious, because the only thing I saw so far is that 60% of the mining pools are located in China. But just because a mining pool is located in China doesn't mean that all of the participants in that pool are located there. So what percentage of the actual people, the machines that are mining, are located in China? I don't know. But let's go with the idea that it's 60%. Let's just go with that. There's multiple companies. So why is that centralization exactly? I want to hear more about it coming up here in moments. Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, January 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.22 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,320 per ounce. Zcash is trading at $49, and the average price of Bitcoin is $16,353. Antiwar.com reports breakthrough talks between the two Koreas are scheduled for Tuesday, the first time the two nations will engage in formal direct talks in just over 2 years. The talks will seek general improvements in relations and specifically the possibility of reaching a deal on North Korea participating in the Winter Olympics. North Korea's agreements to South Korea's offer came after an agreement that the U.S. and South Korea will be postponing any future military drills until March after the Paralympics. This is seen as a significant concession from the North's perspective. U.S. officials are not clear if they want the South Koreans to engage in such talks and have been quick to insist that their decision to postpone the drills was purely a logistical move and not intended to facilitate any talks. South Korean President Moon has been very eager to engage diplomatically with the North since last year's election, and it's likely that he made efforts to ensure that such concessions on drills were made, whatever pretext the U.S. wants to use.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Department of Homeland Security on Friday issued new guidelines about to what extent border agents may search the electronic devices of people entering or exiting the United States. The new directive replaces one issued by the Obama administration in 2009, giving Customs and Border Protection power to search travelers at the border without a warrant. Agents can still check electronic devices, but can only access items stored directly on the device, not information stored remotely or in the cloud. When travelers hand over their devices, agents will instruct them to take their devices offline or disable cellular connectivity. Agents are only allowed to access offline information if there is reasonable suspicion of law-breaking or national security concerns. The policy says many factors may create reasonable suspicion or constitute a national security concern. Examples include the existence of a relevant national security-related lookout in combination with other articulable factors as appropriate, or the presence of an individual on a government-operated and government-vetted terrorist watch list. With or without suspicion, agents are still allowed to view photographs, browser search histories, and messages. The rules apply to cell phones, tablets, computers, cameras, and other electronic devices. Agents can also request passcodes to access devices, and if a traveler refuses to unlock the device or it is otherwise inaccessible, agents can confiscate the devices. John Wagner, Deputy Executive Assistant Commissioner of Field Operations, said in a statement, "Customs and Border Patrol is committed to preserving the civil rights and civil liberties of those we encounter. Our Our authority for the border search of electronic devices is and will continue to be exercised judiciously, responsibly, and consistent with the public trust. Also on Friday, Customs and Border Patrol released statistics on the number of devices agents screened during the 2017 fiscal year ending September 2017. Agents searched the devices of 30,200 travelers, up from 19,051 the year prior. During fiscal year 2015, they searched only 8,053. The latest numbers account for less than 1% of travelers, and of those screened, fewer than 20% were U.S. citizens. The increase has some privacy law experts concerned. The ACLU, which has sued the Department of Homeland Security on behalf of 11 travelers who had their devices searched, described the policy as a step forward, but said it doesn't go far enough. ACLU Legislative Counsel Nima Singh Guliani said the policy would still enable officers at the border to manually sift through travelers' photos, emails, documents, and other information stored on a device without individualized suspicion of any kind.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Republicans back a plan for universal lawn care, and an RC car works up the courage to approach a group of girls. And now a recap of the week's news for those who like to waste their summers surfing the internet. Fall, the long-running series of shorter days and cooler nights, was canceled this week after nearly 3 billion seasons on Earth. The classic period of the year, which once occupied the coveted slot between summer and winter, will be replaced by new stifling humidity levels and near-constant sunshine. A shiny, bobbing object in the water is generating fascination among members of the fish community, who have described it as pleasingly wiggly and minnow-esque. Aquatic experts say that decisive action must be taken against the object very soon. In local news, just when 27-year-old Andrew Sheets didn't think his vacation could get any better, a rerun of Spin City came on. And in other headlines, a bee stuck between the screen and front door is going nuts. And a water skier lets go of the crossbar to greet those not currently water skiing.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The live Saturday edition of the program, talking about all things cryptocurrency tonight, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's open phones here every night on Free Talk Live, so feel free to call in and join us. The us in the studio includes me, Ian,
Chris,
and Will.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Coming up, the centralization of Bitcoin mining. There's a lot of fear out there about China. Is it really something to be afraid of? We'll get into that. But first, David is on the line in San Francisco. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Hey, greetings. You know, by the way, good luck with that cold. Did it really get down to negative 100 up in New Hampshire last night?
Maybe on the Mount Washington, but not.
It's supposed to hit negative 96 with wind chill, or it did, which made
what, on the Mount Washington?
Mount Washington, at the weather site up there, it was colder than Mars.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Amazing. I lived in Colorado when it was negative 20. And my wife used to bring the thermostat up to 80, so you had to do a differential of 100 degrees to deal with that.
My goodness!
So you're talking 180 degrees.
It's a lot of. You need a lot of power to crank that out.
Sure.
Do you know what the temperature's been at my house for the last week or so?
I don't live there, so no. I don't.
13 degrees above zero. I say that because it got
inside your
outside.
House? Oh, outside.
Because it got so cold, it destroyed my external wireless thermometer. So it's been stuck at 13 degrees. I have no idea how cold it's been up there. Well below zero.
At the shop.
Yeah, good luck with your heating bill next month. Well, what I was going to, I think I've mentioned this in previous calls, that India, about a year or so ago, created a
it's not exactly a cryptocurrency, but an electronic money called Aadhaar, Aadhaar. And the people in India are really furious about it because the biggest part of the population only use cash. Mm-hmm. Something like 94% of the population only use cash.
Right.
Yeah, they don't even have bank accounts. They trade cabbages for, squash over the back fence kind of stuff. And the Aadhaar becomes an extra scandal because apparently the software is based in England. So if you remember, 1948 is when England was kicked out of India. But now if they're basically forcing the entire population to go to an electronic money, they're basically recolonizing, and they don't have to send in troops.
Huh.
So
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, with the cryptocurrencies that you're describing, is it setting it up so that you can't deal with small local purchases? Would the small merchants have to deal with such a high service charge that it would only suit big corporations and corporate purchases?
Well, the Aadhaar definitely does that because it's also very trackable. So you're right. India has always been a traditionally cash economy. They've loved it, and that's why it was such a blowback on government when the government decided to do away with the 500. What's the currency over there? I can't remember.
The rupees.
Rupees.
Right, rupees. But they did
the equivalent of a $10 American. Everything above a $10 American was outlawed.
Right. So they did away with the 1,000 rupee note. They did away with the 500 rupee note.
Jeez.
And they just did it overnight too. They just one day they said these are no longer good for anything, so you can take them to the banks, which of course were lines miles long at that point.
They tried that in Venezuela, but the people had a revolt over it, and they reversed their decision.
Right. But I think all three of us would agree that cryptocurrencies represent a tremendous opportunity for the Indian people. And I'm not saying it has to be Bitcoin. There's lots of other opportunities out there and lots of other choices, and it'll be interesting to watch that subcontinent see which way its economy pushes. But I bet it's going to blow up in crypto.
Yeah, because cryptocurrency brings money down to the level of the people,
right?
And doesn't allow big corporations and mega banks to be in charge.
So would there be a way of tracking, if you're only talking Bitcoin in that example, there are, 15 or 20 other different that are emerging nowadays. Is there a way of rating them for how much, accessibility there is to the average man?
I don't know a way of rating it, but you can look at it and you can say, how developed is this coin? How, robust is the marketplace of options? Are there options as far as, wallets that one can choose? Is it available on Android and iPhone? Can you get a web version? Is there a, Windows, Mac? So many of these, newer coins don't have any of that stuff. They're just pure speculation, and they're not used in the marketplace at all. It's very, very few numbers of coins, very small number, probably no more than a handful, are generally used in any kind of market capacity these days, I would say. And that's just sort of something you have to kind of get a grasp for based on observing and seeing what you see when you go to websites that you can check out, or like here in Keene, New Hampshire, where you can physically use cryptocurrency in real life, right, looking at what's being used. That's where you see Bitcoin and less Bitcoin these days, but Dash, we're starting to see a lot of that get out there. And the reason why Dash is winning in that area is because of AnyPay, which is a merchant services provider that launched here in New Hampshire, and they started to support Dash. They were the first merchant services provider for retail, for physical bricks and mortar retail, to actually get an option on the street to give merchants a choice besides just Bitcoin Core, because Bitcoin became so unwieldy due to the fees this year that if merchants wanted to continue accepting cryptocurrency, and they do, then they had to have another option. So they jumped all over Dash. If it had been anything else, Ether, Monero, Bitcoin Cash, they'd have jumped on that too, because Bitcoin got these merchants hot on cryptocurrency, and they're bummed that they can't keep taking Bitcoin from their customers, because no customer in their right mind would want to spend $20 or $15 or whatever the current fee is these days for Bitcoin. I know it had dropped from $30 down to $20 recently, and it feels like we should celebrate that. But I can still remember the days when it was 2 cents.
Right.
So $2 is $2 too much.
Well, to give you a kind of an example. Right now, just this moment, I sent $222.31 of our other sponsor coins that you spoke about earlier, Zcash.
Mm-hmm.
And with the exchange fee and the transaction fee both together, it cost me 54 cents. You see what and that's me paying the exchange for taking it off the exchange and the transaction fee for sending the transaction both, and I still spent 54 cents for a transaction of over $200, and that's kind of high, truthfully.
It is, and I think we're going to see we'll see things push back to that, and I've always thought that you're going to see things that become popular locally. So right now, Dash is very popular in our area because we have good support, and we've got a great merchant app that helps. But keep in mind that nobody needs a merchant app to send and receive Bitcoin
the average person
or any
does not
currency.
need that.
No, they just need wallets. And even vendors, if you're just doing something very rudimentary, if you've got a cell phone you can text to, there's ways to do that in a lot of different cryptocurrencies today. So this stuff it's going to develop. The Indian market is so huge, and it is made up of such microtransactions. I think those coins that end up being very, very low in transaction rates may find adoption in that area, and that's okay.
David, any other comments? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think I mentioned this a week or so ago. There was an article in Forbes, if I remember right, and it was talking about, if I remember right, the headline of it was the high energy cost of electronic money.
Yeah, it's blown out of proportion. Somebody brought that up on this show earlier, not tonight, but on a different night. And when you actually look at the numbers, it's a fraction of the cost of what it costs to get gold out of the ground. So there really isn't much of a cost at all to the electricity. But when you look at it without comparing it to other things, it looks like, oh my God, they're using so much electricity, but the reality is it's a fraction of like just what it costs to mine gold in electricity.
Well,
Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And even if it was costly, it would still be worth every penny because you're getting money out of the hands of the banks and the governments, and that's priceless.
Hear,
It's
hear.
Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com. The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dynovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road underground market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, so feel free to Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Blink Home Security. You've got a home. You probably need to keep it secure, just in case. Doesn't hurt to have some Blink cams in there because they are so affordable. You can't beat this price. You can get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys will charge you for 1 security camera, and they're wireless, so you don't have to factor in a cost of installation because you can really do this one yourself. No drilling required at all. Totally wireless cameras. You pop the batteries in, get them set up via your Wi-Fi enabled device like a tablet or a smartphone, and you are good to go. You can configure the cameras to operate when you want them to operate and send you clips to your smart device. So wherever you are, you can monitor your house, or if you got a small office, it would work great for that too. blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL. So we've been talking about cryptocurrency pretty heavily here tonight. Of course, you're welcome to call in and bring up what you want. You don't have to stay on topic here on Free Talk Live, but we're pretty obsessed with this stuff, and that's because it's really an important paradigm shift in the idea of money. Not just talking about Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency in general. Whether Bitcoin stays on top for the rest of time, I think we may see, and I don't like to make predictions, but just based on what we're seeing so far, I think we may see Bitcoin get topped by some other cryptocurrency this year.
I've said it once and twice, 315 million. It's the dial-up.
This could be the year.
It is the dial-up of cryptocurrency.
If they don't fix it in the first half of this year, the last half of the year may be the end of Bitcoin's #1 position on the charts.
Oh, no.
They better come up with what was the thing that after dial-up that you still used your hard line for your phone?
ISDN.
ISDN, yeah. Yep. Bitcoin better come up with its ISDN or
We've
digital
got
network.
One of two ISDN lines in all of Keene, New Hampshire.
Nice.
We got one of them here in this studio, and that's how we're connecting to our radio network.
Maybe you'll be stuck on Bitcoin like that too.
Well, the funny thing about ISDN is, unlike Bitcoin, ISDN is reliable. Like every single night.
And not slow.
It's slow as hell. It's only 128 kilobits per second, but it's reliable.
Back in the day, I was the first one in my town to have ISDN Internet. It was the first time the phone company had ever set it up.
PRI, BRI,
PRI, bonded those channels together. I got
boom 128 kilobits a second.
It was kicking. No, 256. That was, and it was whatever it was crazy.
What was the per month fee you had to pay
I
for
think I was
that?
paying like $60-$70.
That's not bad.
Yeah, well,
I'm
in
still
like
paying $70 a month for this.
1995.
All right, so toll-free number here tonight, 855-450, free like freedom. Anyway, in the last hour, we were talking about this story about the Chinese government cracking down, apparently, that's the story, on mining operations, saying, all right, you guys, you're using too much power. We are going to demand that you wind it down. Start figuring out how to close down shop. And that's where we ended we didn't even finish the story. You barely started. But it led me to this question of, you had brought up the specter of the centralized mining, the Chinese miners, that there's so many of them. And there are a lot of companies, mining pools, that are based in China.
Sure.
Much of whom probably have their own equipment. But they also have pools which allow other people to join from around the world and elsewhere.
Correct.
And so my question is, let's presume there are 60% of the mining power based in China.
Yep.
Because we don't know. I don't think we know for sure. But let's presume that's true. Given that there are several companies, from what I can tell, in China that are competing in this way, what is the concern about centralization? Is it that you don't believe they're separate companies and they're all arms of the Chinese government, so therefore they're all together? In which case, why is the Chinese government trying to shut down its own arms if they're generating all kinds of money in this case? And if they are separate companies that are competing, then are you concerned that they're going to cartelize and somehow try to attack the very thing that is making them fabulously wealthy? I guess I don't understand what the fear is.
I'll throw mine out there, and we need to go back to why Bitcoin was created in the first place.
To destroy banks and governments.
Sure. Yes. But there were a couple key tenets that they wanted to see. And Satoshi Nakamoto talks about this in his white paper.
That's the creator of Bitcoin.
Right?
The anonymous.
Who we don't know who that is. He, she, or they. But decentralization was key, and it wasn't just that currencies are centralized within a country and controlled by that, but that any player could come along and take control of it.
And the concern was a 51% attack, because that if one entity has 51% or more of the mining power, they are the decider about things related to that crypto.
Right. They can change the rules of the game.
But we're not even close to that in Bitcoin.
In most cases. But here's where things get interesting. And I'm going to use the example of Bitcoin Cash just because that's the one that I have that has numbers.
I've got numbers here for Bitcoin.
I do. But in this case, they're talking about Bitcoin Cash, and they show a breakdown based on what data center these things are in. So in this particular breakdown, they're showing that a majority, like say a third, and I'm just ballparking because we're looking at a graph, a third of them are in the Hangzhou Alibaba advertising code, which basically means it's within a data center.
Yeah.
And then a certain number of them are portioned by Amazon is the next in line. And then
now these are companies that, at least in Amazon's case,
is
an
widely
individual
distributed.
Can utilize, just to clarify, an individual can buy right now a processor on an Amazon cloud, and they can put whatever website or program that they want to. So that doesn't mean that it's Amazon that's running those miners.
Absolutely not. And then we have number 3 is another Alibaba data center. And what the concern was brought up here, and Bitcoin faces sort of the same thing, but it's a little bit more widely distributed, is that, look, what if the Chinese government came in and said, you know what, we're going to shut down all miners? Then you would have a massive number of miners that could be shut down. Or what if they came in and said, you know what, we now control these?
Now that's a concern.
Right, and that's the idea. And when Bitcoin started out, it wasn't big mining pools. It was Will running his full client at home, and he was processing chains, and you were doing it at home, and I was doing it at home.
But we still don't know what percentage of these mining pools are actually located in the country in which the pool itself is located. Just because the pool's located in China doesn't mean that everyone connecting to the pool is located in China. So what percentage of the, if I'm looking at the breakdown here, I'm at blockchain.info/pools, where it shows a pie chart breakdown of Bitcoin cores mining, who's mining Bitcoin. And there's at least a dozen, maybe more, 15 or so. I'm not, just eyeballing it here. Different mining pools that are showing up on the chart. And BTC.com has the largest share of 19.2%, followed by Antpool with 18%, followed by BTC.top with 15%. So that right there is over half.
Right.
And I think those are all Chinese-based pools.
I believe you're right. So you're over 50%.
Right there on 3 companies.
Right.
And so, okay, the concern is, what if China, and this is, I think, your best objection, what if the Chinese government comes in, takes control of all 3 of those companies, and then they get 51% control over Bitcoin?
Exactly.
But anybody can spin up another mining pool anytime, and if it's true that, what percentage of these pools are actually located in China, maybe it's less than 50%.
Well, not only that, but you have the ASIC manufacturing, which is almost exclusively over there, too.
But again, there are other mining pools you can join for other cryptocurrencies like Monero. So there's other options out there. There are 1,000+ other cryptocurrencies out there. There's choice.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments, we see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Despite a long-held consensus pointing to the mid-20s as the final stage of brain maturation, a new study has found that the adolescent brain doesn't fully form until boys have avenged their father's murder.
New imaging studies suggest that the frontal cortex goes through extensive changes during the period of training when an adolescent boy prepares himself to track down and kill the man who took his father's life. But it's not until the boy stares deep into the murderer's eyes and then stabs him right in the heart that the 2 lobes fuse into a fully mature brain.
According to Dr. Laurie's findings, the myelin surrounding the teenage nerve synapses develops when boys stake out the home of their father's murderer, put themselves through grueling physical training, and fantasize again and again about how satisfying it will be when he finally makes the bastard who took everything from him beg for his life.
Now, if they let their father's killer slip through their grasp, or if they press the barrel of a gun to the back of his head and then realize they don't have what it takes to pull the trigger, then the amygdala is definitively stunted, and they'll have lifelong problems interpreting emotional information.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free and join us here on the radio waves. Live Saturday edition of the program. You can join us at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Will.
More about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. What's going on in China with a crackdown apparently happening against the miners. And also, apparently, the Venezuelan cryptocurrency, what is being called a cryptocurrency. So far, they have not yet opened up a white paper, so there's no details available on this thing. I suspect it is not going to be a cryptocurrency when all is said and done, but we'll see. The news media is reporting on it as though it is. Can it be a cryptocurrency if it's run by a government? Let's go, though, to Jimmy. He's in North Carolina. Jimmy, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Chris, and Will.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Jimmy.
I appreciate your program.
Thanks.
But
Go ahead.
The subject you've spent the last 30 minutes on is totally and completely a failure as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what crypto coin is. I don't know what Bitcoin is.
All right.
And since I'm 75 years old and have survived reasonably successfully without it so far,
yeah,
I can't believe it's that important.
Well, I see where you're coming from, although don't you have a lady in her 70s coming into your store pretty regularly to buy cryptocurrency, Chris?
I do. More than one.
Yeah.
We have a fair number of people that are up there in
retirement age.
Yeah, definitely.
You're never too old to get into technology and cryptocurrency. And what is it? I mean, do you guys want to take a crack at describing what it is?
Well, actually, before we get that, there's a video that plays back home on this little bitty show. It's called, it's not important. It's called the Heartland series. Anyway, and there's a clip where they go into this guy's house and they're about to throw him out in the cold and because they're going to flood his farm. And
that's not very nice.
They're like, well, yeah, but this whole valley will have electricity. And his response to having electricity was basically exactly what this guy said at the beginning. Because I've lived for this long without it. I don't really reckon I need it that much.
Yeah, you probably don't.
And that may be true for you, but for the younger, this is revolutionary. This is revolutionizing trade. For our generation.
And fixing some problems. Can I ask you, Jimmy, do you remember how much I assume you owned a home or you have owned a home in the past, how much you paid for that?
Yeah, it was, 12 years ago that I bought this one, and I paid like $160,000 for it.
Okay, let's go back a little bit further. I'm trying to think of something maybe from your childhood that you happen to remember the price of. It could be anything. How much was a candy bar? How much was a loaf of bread? Comic book? You name it.
Oh my goodness! Well, you could buy a pound of hamburger for 35 cents.
That's a great example. Okay, so here's why cryptocurrency is important. When governments just go and print more cash because they need more money, what that does is it decreases the purchasing power of the dollar. So it isn't that it costs, 100 times more or 10 times more to raise a cow. It doesn't mean that we haven't come up with more efficient ways of processing beef. It doesn't mean that we haven't come up with better and cheaper feeds, or that through veterinary medicine we've made cows live longer and grow more healthy. All these things occurred, yet for some reason what used to cost 30 cents now costs $5-6 when I go to the grocery store. And that isn't because things are really costing more. It's that the dollars that we have in our pocket do less. They have less purchasing power. And the fun fact of this is, since the formation of the Federal Reserve System in 1913, the dollar has lost over 98% of its purchasing power. And that's a crime. So the government gets all this free money because they start printing it, and they get, whatever they want right off the top. And you pay almost an invisible tax. It's just every year things get more expensive. Now, wager your house probably has a higher value, but did it make that much difference in 12 years, or is some of that just inflation? So that's why it's important. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have the potential not to be an alternative to the money that we're used to. They are better money when they are restricted, and nobody can mess with it. Governments can't get in there and change the rules of the game. That's what makes it revolutionary, and that will protect people. That will,
including your kids or grandchildren.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, now, that's why he's in his 70s, so that means his dad's generation were the ones who watched the bankers destroy this country, and they didn't trust banks.
Yeah,
my great grandfather, my great great grandfather. They were all in their 90s. They would have been, the age to be, to have been this guy's father. My dad is almost 90, and they don't trust banks. They never did. My uncle kept stashes of cash locked in ammunition boxes in the barn because he didn't trust a bank to put his money in the bank.
A lot of the folks around here are like that too.
Yeah,
folks in there.
Let me ask a question on a totally and completely different subject.
Sure, no problem.
If you get a state highway map, it will have a chart on it that lists mileage between cities or municipalities. And for those mileage distances to be calculated, there has to be a marker there somewhere in each town that they measure to and from.
Okay.
Now, I know you can't tell me where every marker in every town is, but tell me the standard for which they determine that, and most of them were put in place years and years and years ago.
That's an interesting question. Where when you say you're going from a town to a different town, are you measuring to the center of that town's geographic area, or are you measuring to the outskirts of it? I don't have an answer for you, Jimmy, but maybe somebody out there does, or maybe one of you guys do. But thanks for the call tonight. Do either of you know?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't
know.
know.
And I suspect it. Nowadays it depends on what app you use.
Well, the app's going to know exactly where you want to go to, usually, unless you just say Keene, New Hampshire.
Right.
In which case, does it use downtown Central Square, the sort of the heart of downtown Keene, or does it use Route 101 local goods right on the outskirts of?
At 661 Marlborough Street.
Right, in Keene.
In Keene, where you get 5% off when you use crypto every day.
That's right. The only place in.
I think that may be it. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. You may be the only retail location offering a discount in crypto in New Hampshire right now.
Well, I don't know. He had crypto for 25% off right around Christmas.
Yeah, we did.
You're talking about buying the crypto.
No, that was the Bitcoin
the
flash
Bitcoin
crash.
when they were
that.
You could buy Bitcoin for 25% off right before Christmas if you wanted to.
Even ran a little loud to say that. Yeah,
when it dropped down to $11,000 or whatever. Now
Chris
it's back
had a sale going on.
It's back
burning
up
the barn down.
17,000. But no, what I was saying was I think he's the only business retail business in New Hampshire that's offering a discount for customers who want to pay with crypto. You're giving 5% off.
Right.
Is the idea there that you want to encourage people to use cryptocurrency, and also you want more cryptocurrency to hold on to?
Exactly. Twofold. Number one, it's very important for me to see greater adoption, because greater adoption helps us all up. The sooner we can all get off of fiat currency and start using things that actually make economic sense, the whole world becomes a better place. And I don't want that to sound hyperbolic. It sounds like hyperbole, but it isn't. If you can fix this part, it's a game changer for the poorest people in the world. It's a game changer for everybody. And the second fact is, I value cryptocurrency more than I value U.S. dollars. I look at those things and I go, this thing is going to be worth less. This $20 bill is not going to buy $20 worth of anything next year. No. And that's horrible.
If you're in Venezuela, not tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Why would I want that? Because I have to take it, but I'll encourage the use of others.
I think that, as far as I know, the first Bitcoin Gold retail purchase ever was done at Route 101 Goods. I didn't get a 5% off discount on that, by the way.
Oh, that was before we were doing that, but that had to have been because we were both trying to figure out how to extract Bitcoin Gold at that time.
Yeah.
And Will's like, hey, can I buy something with it? I'm like,
Why
Sure.
not?
Sure.
I bought a Bitcoin Core T-shirt.
My roommate bought a pizza from me the other night with a coin that nobody even uses, called Indocoin. There's more coming up here in moments. That's how obsessed we are with getting out of the government money system. There's more on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zcash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zcash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
You've seen crazy diets to lose weight. At GCN Team, our healthy body weight loss system simply neutralizes the body, bringing down cravings. It has been proven that nutritional deficiencies drive appetite for carbs, sugars, and fats. Lose weight the easy way. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Fighting cravings is a fool's game. Give the body what it needs to be satisfied. Again, 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You're invited here to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We're talking about something that everybody should consider to be important, money, but an aspect of it that is not very understood, not well understood out there. And that's part of the reason why we're talking about it, is to help people come to some level of understanding about what cryptocurrency is, which is mostly decentralized, distributed forms of money, digital forms of money that can be exchanged instantaneously, virtually, around the world to anybody, anywhere with an internet connection, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And Bitcoin was the first of a mirror. It would have now been a long line of a lot of these things. There's over 1,300 right now listed at coinmarketcap.com. And by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this on the air, but kudos to the market cap, that is to say all of the value of all of the cryptocurrencies in the world combined. It has crashed through, or busted through, the $800 billion mark for the first time in the last, I believe, 24 hours here.
That is insane.
So, and just so you know, it was at what, like $400 billion a month ago?
I like to go back to June 1st when it first, or June when it crossed over
100 billion for the first time.
8 times, 8 months.
And then $200 billion in early November, and then $300 billion in late November, and then $400 billion a few days later, and $500 billion and $600. And then it kind of stagnated for about a little bit between 6 and 7, 5, 6, 7. It kind of stagnated in there, and then now it's back on its way up again. So with numbers like that, it's why some people are starting to pay attention. They're seeing the headlines, they're seeing the news about Bitcoin's price, which today is over $17,000 per Bitcoin.
And the bankers are freaking out, going, no, stay away, stay away.
That's what gets people's attention. Now, coming up in 10 days, basically, Miami is set to host the longest-running and most successful cryptocurrency conference in history. It's the North American Bitcoin Conference, now in its 6th year. This is, again, this January here, the 17th and the 18th. Down in Miami, they are expecting over 1,000 Bitcoin community members. This is where a lot of the movers and the shakers in the Bitcoin world are going to be. And you can go there and meet a bunch of them. They're going to be converging for this monumental conference aimed at driving cryptocurrency from niche to mainstream. If 2017 was any indicator of that progress, and if 2018 follows suit, and anything can happen. Chris, earlier tonight off the air, you were predicting a huge crash. So
at some point.
Well, again, whatever that means. Does that mean next week? Does that mean later this year? Does that mean
if I knew I'd be a billionaire? I'm talking about a
tech bubble level event
where all cryptos fail. That's what he's talking
about. Well, not all cryptos fail, and not all .coms failed in the .com, but there was a separation between reality and
shearing.
What was going on, that these things weren't valued in any way that resembled reality.
But you don't know when that's going to happen, but you did predict it earlier here tonight.
Oh, I expect there to be a serious readjustment of prices.
Yeah, it's going to be a grand
How far down are we talking about? Because a few weeks ago, we saw a drop in Bitcoin of about 50%, 40-50%, going down from 20,000 down to $11,000 in a period of days. Are you talking about a drop even more drastic than that? Because that's a huge drop.
I think it could be, but here's what it's also interesting of where we're at now with the total market cap, which I think is a horrible way to measure this stuff, but it's what everybody's talking about. Let's say that this whole thing just crumbles and we lose 50%. Everything's down 50% overnight.
Yeah, which happened the other day.
Right, but we're not going to see bankers jumping out of windows or crypto enthusiasts committing harry-carry. It basically sets us back. When was 400,000?
A month ago.
I don't know, man. Noobs, man.
Yeah, I know.
Noobs will be jumping out of windows.
Some people freak out because they haven't been looking at this the whole time. Usually when there's a drop, if you just hold on tight, you get through it and it goes back up.
Hold.
There's no guarantees. There's no guarantee that the prices will continue to go up over time. Maybe this will completely fizzle out and never will become a thing. But it is a thing.
It'll become a thing. Yeah. And don't believe that when I say there's going to be a readjustment in prices, that means this whole thing goes away. It doesn't. But what it will do, it's going to weed out a lot of the crap.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of junk out there. It's going to weed out a lot of, and I hate to say it, but you're right, Will, the newbies that have just jumped into this. I saw an article, and I damn it, I should have brought it in. But it said that they estimated that 18% of the new investment going into cryptocurrency is based on debt. People borrowing money to get in.
It's risky.
That is beyond risky. So
don't risk anything you can't afford to lose.
Exactly
in this game.
And don't mortgage your house to buy Bitcoin, for God's sake.
Bad idea.
I mean, these
Bad
are
plan.
things that people do, and it's insane.
Let's go to Venkman. He's on the line calling on the AMP lines from FEMA Region 9. Venkman, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Venkman. I'm a voluntarist. I believe all human interaction should be voluntary.
Great.
I wanted to talk about cryptocurrency tonight. I believe that's kind of the next step in moving towards a voluntary society. And, you know, I understand some of the concerns about a bubble and people using debt to purchase cryptos. And, you know, I get it. That's a legitimate concern. But I think we're at a point now where we have to start considering that there's a level of certainty, albeit small, but there is a level of certainty that this crypto is not going to go away. And it may change
Sure
the
seems
face
like
of
it's here to
the
stay,
world
doesn't it?
map.
I don't think it's going to go away.
I don't either.
The .coms didn't go away. It was just, you know, there is no Netscape anymore. Bye-bye. You know, like there was so much stuff out there that was cluttering the marketplace that had all of this money pumped into it, and people were borrowing and pouring money into these worthless companies. And when the the curtain was pulled back, the whole thing came crashing down on top of itself.
But look at what survived.
Exactly.
Amazon.
From the ashes grew these great companies. And what it is, as traders, you know, people like myself and like Chris, our job is to figure out what are going to be those companies that are going to rise from the ashes and get into those coins.
And you're probably going to be mostly wrong.
Yeah. I tell you,
we're all. One of us is going to get lucky and get like a halfway there, and have to split the money so that we both starve.
Here's why I hate trading groups, and there's a lot of them out there, and I got a lot of friends who play in this space. They love to go into these groups, and there's pump and dump groups and everything. I'm this weird guy who, like a year ago, literally started saying, Bitcoin sort of does what it does, but I'm interested in what all these other things really do. So let me look at the fundamentals of what coins provide. So everything in my portfolio, with maybe one or two exceptions, was based on some research I did.
Something unique, something special, not just another Me Too Bitcoin thing.
Well, yeah, but they were trying to solve real-world problems, and it looked like they had a way to do that, to solve something that was causing issues with people or fixed a problem that people may not even know they have. But there was something there, and now, you know, a lot of this, we look at this number, $800 billion, you know, we see huge amounts of money flowing into Verge that I bought early on, but they're just doing it because it's going up.
Right.
And Dogecoin, for God's sakes, the coin that started as a joke, over $1 billion, $2 billion, 1.6.
Reason for that. There's a reason for Doge to be over that much. There's a purpose for it. It's
I'm
not
waiting
just
to hear it. I love this.
Okay, so there's I've tried to say this before.
There's a joke. There's a purpose to jokes.
There's a psychological thing. There's a psychological thing about owning a whole coin versus a piece of a coin.
True.
You know, like I put $2,000 into Bitcoin and I don't even own a whole coin. You know, like there's a psychological thing about it.
I get that.
B, it's used as a medium of as a main medium of trade on a lot of exchanges. So you'll go in and instead of Ether, like you see on HitBTC, if you go to Cryptopia or Cuex.io, or there's a lot of different ones. Doge is right next to US dollar tethers. So it's Bitcoin, Doge, US dollar tether, whatever other currency is local there, dollar tether, and Litecoin or Dash or Bitcoin Cash. There's usually like 5 options.
Right.
And Doge is now one of them. And even HitBTC has a Doge to Bitcoin, Doge to Litecoin, Doge to Dash trade market.
Now that's interesting because what Will's referring to are what are called instruments on an exchange. So instruments are things that you use to buy coins with. So if the instrument is Bitcoin, then okay, I can buy Litecoin with Bitcoin. But it's interesting that Doge is there. Wow, that's an actual
Doge is a
use
major
case.
player, and I think it's for 2 reasons. One, that psychological feeling of owning a whole coin, of owning thousands of coins.
Doge is a dust currency, which means you can have a whole bunch of them.
They're worth a penny a piece, so the conversion rate's super easy. If $1 is is 100 Doge.
Roughly.
Roughly.
Hey, Venkman, we kind of jumped all over you there. If you got more, hang on.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Just what happens when the value, the market cap of all cryptos exceeds the U.S. government debt? We're about at $1 trillion. What happens then? Thank you for your time.
Great point. More coming up. Hour 3's on the way. It's Free Talk Live.
Have you ever wondered who the second person to discover gravity was? When you're in the mood for a treat, would you go to the second best bakery in town? Or how about the name John Breckenridge? Recognize it? If you don't, that's because he came in second to Abraham Lincoln. The firsts are first for a reason. Just how ID Stronghold was the first to create the technology to protect your credit cards from thieves with RFID chip scanners. ID Stronghold products block signals from those scanners, so thieves can't capture your critical data. Get a stronghold on your personal information and protect your family too. Don't settle for the second best wallet. Pick up ID Stronghold wallets for everyone on your list this holiday season. They're the perfect stocking stuffer, with leather wallets starting as low as $20 on Walmart.com, eBay, Amazon, and QVC. Save 10% by using coupon code PRESENT for a limited time. That's coupon code PRESENT only on IDStronghold.com. IDStronghold.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, January 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.22 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,320 per ounce. Zcash is trading at $49, and the average price of Bitcoin is $16,353. Antiwar.com reports breakthrough talks between the two Koreas are scheduled for Tuesday, the first time the two nations will engage in formal direct talks in just over 2 years. The talks will seek general improvements in relations and specifically the possibility of reaching a deal on North Korea participating in the Winter Olympics. North Korea's agreements to South Korea's offer came after an agreement that the U.S. and South Korea will be postponing any future military drills until March after the Paralympics. This is seen as a significant concession from the North's perspective. U.S. officials are not clear if they want the South Koreans to engage in such talks and have been quick to insist that their decision to postpone the drills was purely a logistical move and not intended to facilitate any talks. South Korean President Moon has been very eager to engage diplomatically with the North since last year's election, and it's likely that he made efforts to ensure that such concessions on drills were made, whatever pretext the U.S. wants to use.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Department of Homeland Security on Friday issued new guidelines about to what extent border agents may search the electronic devices of people entering or exiting the United States. The new directive replaces one issued by the Obama administration in 2009, giving Customs and Border Protection power to search travelers at the border without a warrant. Agents can still check electronic devices, but can only access items stored directly on the device, not information stored remotely or in the cloud. When travelers hand over their devices, agents will instruct instruct them to take their devices offline or disable cellular connectivity. Agents are only allowed to access offline information if there is reasonable suspicion of law-breaking or national security concerns. The policy says many factors may create reasonable suspicion or constitute a national security concern. Examples include the existence of a relevant national security-related lookout in combination with other articulable factors as appropriate, or the presence of an individual on a government-operated and government-vetted terrorist watch list. With or without suspicion, agents are still allowed to view photographs, browser search histories, and messages. The rules apply to cell phones, tablets, computers, cameras, and other electronic devices. Agents can also request passcodes to access devices, and if a traveler refuses to unlock the device or it is otherwise inaccessible, agents can confiscate the devices. John Wagner, Deputy Executive Assistant Commissioner of Field Operations, said in a statement, "Customs and Border Patrol is committed to preserving the civil rights and civil liberties of those we encounter. Our authority for the border search of electronic devices is and will continue to be exercised judiciously, responsibly, and consistent with the public trust." Also on Friday, Customs and Border Patrol released statistics on the number of devices agents screened during the 2017 fiscal year ending September 2017. Agents searched the devices of 30,200 travelers, up from 19,051 the year prior. During fiscal year 2015, they searched only 8,053. The latest numbers account for less than 1% of travelers, and of those screened, fewer than 20% were U.S. citizens. The increase has some privacy law experts concerned. The ACLU, which has sued the Department of Homeland Security on behalf of 11 travelers who had their devices searched, described the policy as a step forward but said it doesn't go far enough. ACLU Legislative Counsel Nima Singh Guliani said the policy would still enable officers at the border to manually sift through travelers' photos, emails, documents, and other information stored on a device without individualized suspicion of any kind.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
America is at a crossroads on many issues, leading many to ask, is it time for the president to blow the silver horn left behind by the Founding Fathers in case the country ever needed them? Of course, the horn, which has been sitting in the Oval Office since 1817, has never been used by a commander-in-chief, but many Americans think now might be the time to summon our forefathers. Which Founding Fathers would come back?
All of them. Look, when you have a bug problem, you call the exterminator. When you have an America problem, you call the Founding Fathers. They know what to do.
We have to keep in mind the Founding Fathers left us with a warning. If you blow the horn with less than pure intentions, it will turn to tin and can never be used.
But a president has to take risks, have the courage to admit that his administration is not all-knowing, and blow that magic silver horn to summon someone who is.
Yes, but what if we become too reliant on them and they disappear after the next new moon, as was written?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want here. As we launch into the third hour of the program, we're pretty heavy on cryptocurrency talk here tonight. That's because the three of us here in the studio are pretty heavy users and advocates for cryptocurrency, because this is something that can set humanity free from its shackles that have been placed upon it by governments of the world. Governments like Venezuela, or you fill in your favorite or most hated government, because they all have the same scam that they run on their people, which is to say they print money from thin air, and therefore, you explained this in the last hour, Chris, but for those just tuning in, they then devalue because of that money printing and because their money has the violence of the government behind it, meaning that you're forced to accept it. That's what legal tender is. That's what the term means. You look on your dollars. If you have a dollar bill, you pull it out and you look at it, you'll see this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. That means we're telling you, the government, by the backing of a gun, by the backing of men with guns, you must accept this. So that's part of the reason why people do, is because they would be forced to if they didn't otherwise. But obviously, it's still buy stuff, so that's why why people take it. But over time, the value of the U.S. dollar, just like all the other currencies of the world, the fiat currencies issued by governments, has gone tremendously down over time. You can see it in your purchasing power. You can see it every time you go to the grocery store. If you've shopped over the decades, you know that the amount of $100 is going to buy you less this year than it did a decade ago, and then it did 20 years ago, and then it did 30 years ago. You're just going to see the amount of groceries you end up getting. And you've seen the memes of this online,
sure.
where the amount of groceries for $100 just shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
And in the opposite direction for cryptocurrency, how many of us own something that's like you have like a $6,000 broken coffee cup?
Oh yeah, the Bitcoin, the Bitmug.
Yeah, the Bitmug. It's like a $6,000 broken coffee cup.
It was $10 worth of Bitcoin when I bought it. By the time I broke it, it was probably $6,000.
This is one thing I do not want to talk about. All right, can we
like
just
the $10
forget
million
that?
pizzas.
Yeah.
My wife has a Panda shirt that I bought for her in 2013 with Bitcoin.
Yep.
That cost me $20 in Bitcoin in 2013. So I don't know. It's probably like an $1,100 T-shirt now. So
I looked at.
You can't think about that stuff though. It was the right thing
it's
to
her
do.
favorite shirt. She loves it.
Right. It was the right thing to do at that time for those people that sold Bitcoin and then regretted it later on down the line. You needed that Bitcoin for some reason.
Yep.
That's why you sold it at that time.
Right, or you spent it, and I truly believe that the reason Bitcoin is still number one is its history.
People used it.
People used it, and if people like us and lots of listeners out there and people that we know hadn't worked with businesses to accept Bitcoin and to transact in it, it wouldn't be where it is. And there just aren't that many coins out there. Dash is an up and coming one that is really doing a good job of getting into point of sale.
But had we not seen companies like Overstock, which was the first billion-dollar company to start accepting Bitcoin several years ago, maybe 4 years.
It's been a while ago.
For visionaries like Patrick Byrne over at Overstock to embrace this early on and to show people that, hey, it's okay.
Right.
You can take this stuff. Don't worry if you're worried about the volatility, because that's what the bankers and the talk show hosts on television. It's volatile. You never know what's going to happen. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's volatile. And okay, well, if you're worried about that, then go ahead and cash a little bit out. And you could feel safe that you've saved it as cash. But you can guarantee that cash is going to go down in value over time. And while there's a chance, there's a chance that cryptocurrency is going to go down, the historic view shows that it's going up in value over time.
And I tell you, take a chart of Bitcoin, for example. Do it over, what do we got? 8-9 years.
9 years
data.
as of this week.
Stack it up against the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and you will see huge peaks and valleys in both.
Yeah, sure.
This idea that the cryptocurrency, you can't tie anything to it, and you never know how much you got. You've got history, and it's not just. And compare that to the purchasing power of the dollar, and they go in opposite directions.
Well, the only service that the dollar really offers is it's something that you can use to pay your taxes.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously.
I was waiting for Ziavian brought that one up. That's legal tender.
Yeah, it's the only thing that the dollar has going for it. It's not faster. I can send a transaction in Dogecoin or Verge or Vertcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's the only one. Dash. Bitcoin literally is the only one that I can't make a transaction as quickly as I can by just reaching into my wallet and digging through and handing you some dollars out.
Why can't you?
What?
You might pay more. That's the problem.
Well, you have to wait for confirmation.
I have to wait for a half an hour for Bitcoin.
You got all kinds of coins that do 10 second or 10
That's what I
minute
was
transactions.
saying. That's what I'm.
Use something besides Bitcoin.
Use something besides
because Bitcoin's
Bitcoin.
too slow.
Oh, I'm saying lots of other coins are at 10 minutes also for block time. Yeah, there's lots of them out there.
That's true.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
I like Litecoin, 2.5 minutes, and I was just reading up on ARK, which is another cryptocurrency, who's doing an 8-second block.
Give me a Verge, man.
All right.
Snap your fingers. It's there.
Let's talk about the Dogecoin story, because this is interesting. Dogecoin, this is from Coindesk.com. The parody coin, named for an internet meme featuring a Shiba Inu dog, has broken off the leash. Nearly forgotten since its heyday in 2014, over the past month, the cryptocurrency's price has increased more than 400%, setting a new all-time high recently above 1 cent per Doge. Now, for listeners that don't know, Dogecoin, when it came out, was a kind of a laughing stock. And that was what it was intended for. They'd taken an already existing internet meme of this dog, which was a cute dog.
It was a cute dog.
They've taken this internet meme and they turned it into a cryptocurrency. They named it Dogecoin. They put the picture of the Doge on the coin's website, and that's sort of the mascot for this coin. And it got a lot of attention because people were, again, it was what they called a dust currency, meaning that you were talking about, Will, how it's very difficult for the average person to own a full Bitcoin, given that they're $17,000 per Bitcoin. Well, Doge right now at an all-time high is a penny.
1.64 cents.
It started at, a fraction of a penny when it started. And so people were spending like hundreds of thousands or millions of Doge to buy things just for the hell of it. They bought, I remember the big one that they were touting was a race car advertisement wrapping. So they had like a NASCAR. They had a Dogecoin NASCAR that literally was driving around a track in a race, probably on more than one occasion, but at least one occasion, with a Doge on the hood of the car.
Yep.
With a picture of the Doge on the hood of the car, and then something about Dogecoin, on the elsewhere. And so it was making headlines because of this, and so it got a lot of hubbub and attention at that time. But people haven't been paying close attention to it, and now here it is, up 400% in the last month.
Again, though, it goes back to the fact that it's a big-time medium on these exchanges. If you go, I'm looking at...
that's your opinion. But
I'm looking at Cryptopia right now.
That's one of them. How many other exchanges have that?
At least 3 that I know of.
Okay.
That's the one thing. But the thing is right now it's pump and dump. People are looking for cheap, so they can get a bunch of them and hope the price goes up.
You can buy more coins with Doge than you can any other option at least on this exchange. If you go to 3, you can buy 3 times as many types.
Because IOTA's more dusty than Doge is.
Well, it's the amount of currencies that you can buy. I mean, say there's 1,300 currencies. Bitcoin, you can only buy 600 of those currencies. New Zealand dollar tethers, you can literally only buy a dozen of them. Litecoin, you can buy 200 of them. Doge, you can buy all of them but 150. So Dogecoin is more utilitarian in the exchanges than Bitcoin.
In that exchange.
Well, that's going to influence the price and the popularity.
I guarantee it, but I can also name Bittrex, I can name Coinbase, and folks, these are just different
cryptocurrencies that do not have
that don't offer Doge as an instrument. So
those are your mainstream taxed by, looked over by the state,
that's a good point.
That kind of thing. So you're not going to find people like me and the people who originally were in Bitcoin and pushed cryptocurrency to where it is today.
Let me tell you more about what's going on here. Why 1 cent Doge matters. Because the price of that pushed Doge's market cap above $1 billion. So you look at
sign of the apocalypse.
Right, you look at 1 cent and you think, well, who cares? 1 cent? No.
Much profit.
1 cent times however many billion Doges there are, or trillion Doges. I don't know how many damn Doges are there out there. A quintillion? I don't even know. There's more coming up here in moments. You can join us on Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash. And get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zcash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zcash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want right here. Our live Saturday edition continues as we talk about cryptocurrency and Dogecoin hitting over $1 billion market cap for the first time ever recently, and it's flown past that now with $1.7 billion market cap. The Doge at a new record high price of approximately $0.015 now per Doge. But apparently the creator of Doge isn't so happy about it. And by the way, I did realize I forgot to mention earlier the upcoming North American Bitcoin Conference in Miami. Forgot to give you the website, btcmiami.com. We're just so distracted talking about all this crypto stuff. btcmiami.com if you want to go check out the upcoming North American Bitcoin Conference. And you can use code FTLIVEXX. That's FTLIVEXX. for $50 off your tickets there at btcmiami.com. As we go to your calls, we can tell you what Dogecoin's creator has to say for his coin that has taken off beyond his wildest expectations. But first, we have Parker on the line with us. Are you in Washington, Parker?
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
I didn't realize I was going to be on the show so quickly.
It's that easy. Although normally Saturday nights are pretty busy on the phones. When you talk about a topic a lot of people don't really understand, you probably aren't going to get a whole lot of strong opinions about that topic. I mean, we could go on the air and say, open the borders, and then boom, the phone lines.
You've got an imam on the radio with you tonight. You know, there you go. That'll troll him out real quick.
That would, had we spent more than a minute talking about either of those things, Muslims or borders, we would have been wall-to-wall phone calls all night long. But this is an important topic, too. It's important because people don't understand it. But anyway, why were you calling?
Well, as you guys know, this is one of those crazy years coming up where people go through this pseudo-religious political ritual where they vote for the lesser of two evils, and inevitably evil always continues to win.
Yep.
And I had this idea where what we could do is we could print out signs and make ads. I don't have a whole lot of money to do this, but I'll contribute what money I have. And the entire thing would be vote with your bucks, not with your ballots. And
vote how with your bucks?
Vote on, you use your bucks to fund the things that you want to be funded, and don't use your bucks to abstain from or vote against the things that you don't want funded.
Why is it either or, though? I mean, why can't I just go and spend my bucks and go and vote in an election, too?
Because I feel as though, for the most part, and this is not true across the board, but for the most part, I feel as though voting doesn't really change anything. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you've done something.
I don't ever feel good about voting. I feel like, it's mostly a waste of time, but every now and then there's a reason to go and do it. And that's when you actually have principled, libertarian, liberty-minded people on the ballot for whom you can vote, in which case then it doesn't feel dirty. Then it feels like, okay, I've done something that maybe makes a small bit of a difference. Perhaps this person could win. Odds are they won't. But perhaps they could win, and if you don't vote, then they probably won't be winning.
How about voting against government spending money? Because at least in New Hampshire, in New Hampshire, oftentimes it'll be, do we buy a new dump truck? And if you go in and vote no,
they don't
get
buy
to
it.
say, they can't buy it if you don't vote for it.
Now, this was in town meetings. You live in a town in New Hampshire, and they are structured a little differently than the cities. Like, we're here broadcasting from the city of Keene, where they don't have town meeting. But in your town where you live, Chris, you can physically go into this town meeting. And if you guys vote down the status, vote down the big government people, those big government people get frustrated as hell. And eventually they move away.
Here's my favorite tactic, and this has worked a couple times for me, but you can't get rid of something that's been proposed. Like, let's say we want to buy a new police car.
Okay.
That's been proposed, and the price is $37,000. I can't go into town meeting and say, I'd like that removed from the ballot. You can't do that.
I see.
But what I can do, I'd say I would like to amend the amount to be budgeted on that to change that from $37,000 to zero.
Really?
And you can do that. And then should it pass, and last year at a school board, I changed the amount of this, basically what ended up being a slush fund, that was the design of it, from $500,000 to zero. I proposed that in the deliberative session, and it passed overwhelmingly.
Really?
So it took $500,000 of taxation out.
Man, I wish we could have you at our deliberative session, because all the crap, all the garbage gets through here in Keene.
Anything you can do.
But what I'm hearing from you, Patrick, is like the typical libertarian defeatism of, the system doesn't work, so let's just opt out entirely. And there's nothing wrong with opting out. I mean, if you feel better about yourself by not participating, that's totally fine. But
I still vote for things like initiatives and if I make it a point to never vote for people, because 9 times out of 10 politicians can and usually will let me down.
They're going to let you down. Even the libertarians, they're going to be disappointments.
Look at Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson was a terrible representation.
He didn't even get elected, and he was a letdown.
I know. So part of the entire ad campaign
is not libertarian presidential candidate, by the way,
as opposed to your ballots. The other component would be to find a way, any way, to somehow boycott the government. Now, it is risky. I've brought it up before. You guys have made the points, quite accurate points, that you can't really boycott the government without inevitably, eventually going to jail.
There's odds are high if you boycott some level of the state and not participate in what they demand of you, that they will put you in a cage. But I think the
or
best,
at least fine you.
I think that or if you don't pay the fine, they'll put you in a cage. Because I won't pay fines. I won't do it. I do not want to feed the beast. I do not want to give them a reward for coming after me. I want them to pay to come after me. So at the upcoming trial that I have on Tuesday for misuse of plates, I will not be paying a fine should I be found guilty, which means I am willing to go to jail. I'm also willing to do some community service on that one, just because I'd prefer not to go to jail. But ultimately, it's only one night, so really, it's no big deal. It's just a quick little time for some meditation, maybe some book reading. I don't get to do that very much since I got out of jail for civil disobedience. But again, a lot of the things you're talking about, Parker, have been talked about for a long time, and I'm glad to hear that you're not saying don't participate at all. You're saying participate on some things, but you're disappointed in politicians. The good news is, if you want to get together with people who agree with you, then you might have a chance to implement some of the stuff. So, like having people non-cooperate with the state, you're going to need a large number of people to engage in that non-cooperation before it'll have any kind of an effect. And I can tell you that even getting libertarians to agree to something like not paying taxes is very, very difficult.
Fear.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fear about the government out there. So, if you want to start that process, I would say libertarians should move to New Hampshire and join the largest gathering of liberty-minded people on the planet per capita, because everything becomes possible when you have numbers. Thank you for the call tonight, and that means running for election and winning election. We've got libertarians who are winning elections here as Republicans and Democrats in New Hampshire. It's real.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You know how annoying it is when someone keeps stopping mid-sentence as though he or she were asking you a series of questions? Avoid doing that. It sounds unnervingly tentative, and it imposes upon the listener to help you complete the thought. And if you're a job seeker, this alone could be a deal killer. An effective communicator sounds more confident. Complete the thought. Avoid making the listener impatient. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook. Survivalspeech.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You dial toll free here. Bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. Plus, if you want to reach people with the ideas of liberty, you can do it from the back of your car with libertystickers.com. You can reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker. You know people love to read them. Check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages available to you at libertystickers.com. Once again, that's libertystickers.com. Here in the studio tonight, it's me, Ian.
And Chris.
And Will.
So I want to get to the quote here from the guy who created Dogecoin. Because unlike Satoshi Nakamoto, who's the anonymous creator of Bitcoin, many of these other cryptocurrencies, the creators are very identifiable. They're people who have been, out publicly of, who they are. And in this case, Dogecoin, which came out as a joke back in 2014, has now set a new all-time high within the last few days. In fact, right now, it's probably at an all-time high of $0.015 per Doge. That is its value, which pushed the market capitalization way above $1 billion for the first time ever, now at over $1.5 billion. Yet while the more than 101 million in trading volume was seen in Dogecoin over the last 24 hours, in fact, I think that's actually over 200 million now since this article was written 2 days ago.
Old news.
The creator of the project is worried this is a sign of broader market excess. Jackson Palmer, the founder of the cryptocurrency, who left the team in 2015, so he's abandoned his own project. He said, quote, "The fact that most conversations happening in the media and between peers focus on the investment potential is worrying, as it draws attention away from the underlying technology and goals this movement was based on."
Agreed.
What were the goals of the Dogecoin movement?
I think he's referring to crypto in general.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see. Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, this is part of the thing where, and it's like this with religion, right? Where the founder of a religion, like Buddha, for instance, he never wanted to be worshipped, and he prescribed against, all future Buddhists. I'm not a god.
No cult of personality.
Right? Don't worship me.
Right.
But yet, at some point, one of them, and I don't remember which path it was, which split of Buddhism, but there have been several splits in Buddhism, just like Christianity and just like Islam, where at least one of them started to worship Buddha, And so they went against their founders' intentions there. And you see the same thing with cryptocurrency. A lot of people in the beginning days of Bitcoin were like we are. We're the people who want to see cryptocurrency succeed because we see the potential for it disrupting the world of currency, the government-controlled, banker-controlled currencies out there. We saw that in the early adopters. We weren't the early adopters, but people like us saw that. Satoshi Nakamoto, arguably a very libertarian person. That was the goal. But once the money starts flowing in, once the numbers start going up, once the charts start looking, epic, I mean, as far as the amount of money people are making, that's all that a lot of people are paying attention to is there's money to be made. They don't care about the underlying theory, the underlying plan, the underlying plot or potential for these things. Well, and that's okay.
And they don't even care about fundamentals. I mean, if you were to go out and buy shares of stock in a company, you would look at what does a company do? What do their books look like? In cryptocurrency, we look at, what problem are they trying to solve? Who's the team behind it? What's their white paper say they're going to do? And, you look at things like that. But some of these things just don't have that at all, but they get a little mania going, and then people buy it, then the price goes up.
How many of these grandmothers and these nuts, these sudden fans, the fanboys that you see at your store,
right?
How many of them even know what a white paper is?
None.
I've never
Probably
read a white paper. I've looked through the Zcash one. The one that I've read the most of is Zcash, and that's because they were coming on board with the show, and I'd never heard of them before, and I didn't know anything about it, and so I wanted to know more about it. Why? They're long and boring. I don't want to read through a white paper. It looks awful.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
And there's other things you can do to research. I mean, you just check out their website.
And sometimes it gets technical. Like I've looked at them and I'm like, I'm not going to read through this. I'm not an engineer.
Right.
I don't want to know all that stuff.
And I'm not going to learn something just so I can learn what this formula says.
Yeah.
So I get that part, but it's basically just saying I'm going to look at charts. I'm going to base my decisions based on movement of charts. And hey, there's a million, hedge fund guys out there in the world that have made a whole lot of money doing just that.
And some have lost their ass, I imagine, too.
There have, and that's what I'm afraid of in all this, too.
Well, what I think it's going to be like any other kind of movement like this, you're going to have different characters, different kinds, different types of people. You're going to have the noobs that run in that have tons of money and they throw it all around and they lose their hat.
They lose their ass.
And then you'll
also
you'll have noobs that come in and they have tons of money and they throw it all around and they don't. They end up making money. I mean, you'll have people on both sides of the spectrum no matter what it is. You'll have people like Ian who's just like, well, I bought in early and I'm not really interested in all this other stuff.
I never bought in. I got dragged in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not really interested in the tech stuff.
I saw the story about I saw the story about the Silk Road and I thought that's awesome and didn't do anything. That should have just been right there. I should have bought that.
Then you've got graph readers like Chris over here, and then I'm a little bit of both. Like I have stuff that I really believe in, so I've got like a bunch of coin or in all of those things, and I'm not going to do anything with that except for maybe use it for purchasing stuff, to try to encourage businesses to take it. And then I've got stuff that I don't really care what it is. I just see that it's an opportunity to make money, and it's just some crap coin that's making money, and I'm like, oh, look, some crap can make me some money.
Get in, get out.
I'm going to make some money.
So I got to bring this up just because Ian said he's like kind of drug into this whole thing. I read a book, and I highly recommend it. It's by Nathaniel Popper. He writes for the New York Times, and it's called Digital Gold, Bitcoin, and the Inside Story of the Misfits and Millionaires Trying to Reinvent Money. It came out a couple years ago.
Okay.
But there have to be 10 different mentions of Free Talk Live in that book talking about how this was the show that people first heard. And we know, Roger Vere's a very famous story of that, Bitcoin Jesus.
Roger heard about Bitcoin on this show. And then he had the vision to actually buy some of it.
Right, right.
We were just talking about it.
But you've got people that we know of in the industry that have been there forever that will oftentimes refer in interviews to, and then I heard the Bitcoin talk on Free Talk Live. So
yeah, I'm glad so many people have gotten rich, filthy rich off of listening to this show. I think that is fantastic.
It's cool.
I mean, a lot of shows you can't say that about, right? Like your average talk show out there, the listeners, they want the listeners to buy all their advertisers' products, and that's the end of it. Yep. Here, our listeners got some Bitcoin back in the day, and now they're multimillionaires. Some of them, the one dude called in, said he paid for his college.
See, that's what we want to be on the call to freedom. When we move to the 5 nights a week, we want to become a show just like that interests people in altcoins instead of just being about Bitcoin. Really, kind of introducing the blue collar and the dirty collar America to altcoins and investment opportunities. Try to protect people from scams, and kind of pick up that torch where Free Talk Live. We can
both have the torch.
Yeah, and
you
continue on.
You can light torches off of one another.
Exactly.
And you're not going to be doing nights. You're going to be doing afternoon drive, Eastern time, 4 to 7. You're going to be able to ride home with Will Coley and Aria and the cast of characters that you're going to be bringing in, rotating co-hosts throughout the week. That's starting on Monday on LRN.FM. Crunch time. So we're getting all the stuff in the ducks in the row.
Giving away free money.
You're getting your cryptos ready to give away on Monday afternoon. We're putting the liners together, the music beds. We're getting everything ready to rock and roll.
I have $1,000 in free cryptocurrencies to give away over the course of the next 45 days.
Nice.
And it's just you're gonna be doing just call-in giveaways, right?
That's right.
All right. So you don't have a website for it yet?
No, we're working on all that, and we got the podcast and stuff. I hired Daryl to do podcasts and RSS.
Okay.
So
all right, good. So you're actually going to have an RSS feed.
That's
the first
correct.
time ever for Call to Freedom.
Sweet.
All right, there's more coming up here in moments. I got more for this guy from Dogecoin. I want to hear more about what he's got to say.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Free Talk Live.
That's all libertarians are saying is let's stop the violence. And really, when you put it in those terms, it sounds kind of liberal. Let's stop the violence.
Sure,
right?
it's a movement about peace and personal responsibility. That could very easily sound like, when you use the word peace, sounds liberal, you know?
Right. So if the first libertarian you ever meet or hear on the radio is just talking about making government smaller, I can totally understand why you would get confused and think that it's just a bunch of alt-right wingers. That's one of the reasons why I kind of shy away from labeling myself that way.
Often we get terms like radical used towards us, but radical, really? Peace, personal responsibility, voluntary interaction between individuals? That's radical? I'll tell you what's radical. Radical's using a gun and a bunch of guys in armored suits with helmets to enforce your will on people.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment walking down the street to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Enough time for you if you join us now. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. In the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Chris.
And Will.
Another great conference coming up in February, the 15th through the 18th in Acapulco, Mexico. This time, Anarchapulco is happening at the Princess Resort, a very beautiful location right there on the beach. Anarchapulco.com is where you go to get your tickets. Use code FTL to get 10% off. Why do you want to be there? Well, first of all, it's probably the preeminent best, most fun, like, libertarian conference out there. They've got music, they've got parties, they've got speakers, they've got Ron Paul.
Unbelievable.
You don't need to say anything else besides they've
You
got
could have just let off with that.
Ron
Makes me wish I could get a passport.
Paul. Well, you can get down to Mexico without a passport.
Yeah, it's getting back in the
It's
US
getting back
that you have
in.
to worry about.
Anarchapulco.com. Also, G. Edward Griffin speaking, Jeffrey Tucker, Roger. You want to talk about a guy who knows, G. Edward Griffin, a guy that knows about the money system in the U.S.?
Yes, sir.
He wrote the book on it.
The creature
Literally.
from Jekyll Island.
Right.
Great book.
He's going to be there. He was actually there last year. A lot of these folks were there last year. But if you didn't make it in 2017, you got to come out this year. Jeff Berwick, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venat, Larkin Rose, Julia Taransky, Dana Martin, Juan Galt, Adam Kokesh, who's going to be running for president for the Libertarian Party.
President.
Right, in 2020. Kerry Wedler, Vit Jedlika from Liberland, and Sterling Lujan from Bitcoin.com. Plus, live music from Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and others. Again, February 15th through the 18th. I'm already getting prepared to head down there. Got a new cell phone that hopefully will actually work in Mexico when I'm down there, so I'm excited about that. Go to Anarchapulco.com. And by the way, the final day of Anarchapulco is called Cryptopulco, where they're going to have all the speeches are going to be focused on cryptocurrency, and that's included in your ticket price. You get 10% off by using code FTL, like Free Talk Live. We will look forward to seeing you there because Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from the event, as we had the privilege of doing last year. Once again, that's Anarchapulco.com, February 15th through the 18th. Use code FTL on the website. As we go into a little more of the quotes from the guy who created Dogecoin, the joke cryptocurrency that started as a joke in 2014 and today is a serious contender, a top 30 ranked by market cap. And if you rank it by volume, the amount of Doge that was traded in the last 24 hours, it's number 19 or 20. So
Crazy.
It's a player with over $1 billion market cap today, 1.5 billion today. The founder, though, is disappointed, though. He says that he's worried as it draws attention, meaning the conversation in the media about it, from the underlying technology and the goals this movement was based on. And as I say, if you have the belief that your movement is going to always stay static, that it's always going to be the way you intended for it, you created this thing, you set it loose, And you had hopes. You had these hopes for it, for the community that would grow up around it. And it turns out that that community grows in different ways than you expected it to.
Right.
Your thing that you created grew much larger than you expected it to. And the more something becomes popular, the more kind of debased the original intentions become around that thing. And in some cases, you don't even recognize that thing that you created anymore, especially if you handed it over to a board or people who ultimately get changed out into
I always think of Walt Disney. Walt Disney,
did that happen to him?
Well, would he recognize what Disney Corporation is now? I mean, I can't even imagine.
What did they just buy recently? Wasn't it something big?
Fox.
Fox, that's right. Fox.
Yeah.
20th Century Fox.
Disney now owns everything you love, from The Simpsons
Is that what it is?
From The Simpsons to your
Star
favorite
Wars.
comic book characters to Star Wars.
Oh, they own Marvel now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They own everything.
That's amazing.
They own your Disney now owns your childhood.
He goes on, though. He says, quote, I have a lot of faith in the Dogecoin core development team to keep the software stable and secure, but I think it says a lot about the state of the cryptocurrency space in general that a currency with a dog on it, which hasn't released a software update in over 2 years, has a $1 billion plus market cap.
It's cheap and easy to use. It's cheap, easy to use, and you can find it on literally every exchange that exists.
Well, now he does
That's why.
He does make an interesting point that it hasn't been updated in 2 years, but that just shows how resilient it is. The fact that it hasn't needed an update,
Does
it's
that what
working fine.
Does, or was nobody paying any attention to it until Cryptomania hit within the last 6 months? I mean, this is like pretty much an abandoned project. It was. It's a mania.
It happened before, though. Just not to this degree, I don't think.
No.
While the current Dogecoin developers seemed equally surprised by the momentum, they showed more enthusiasm. Patrick Lauder, one of the current developers, said, quote, to me, this proves to me that we don't need shiny features or a ton of innovation, and even with a conservative and in my own case completely distracted development team for a boom. Another developer echoed that statement, saying, quote, it's a little scary when you work on the software that powers a billion-dollar network. This is quite the responsibility, and also one of the main reasons why we're so reluctant to just slap any innovative tech into the reference client. Still, I'm proud of what we've achieved and thankful to be part of such a great community.
And thankfully, I kept some Doge.
Yeah, and here, again, I am not, please, don't follow, I don't make investment advice. I am not an investor. I mean, anybody could have bought Doge for next to nothing. Back when it came out, you could have gotten a million Doge for nothing.
Right.
And I didn't.
I bought Doge in October at 0.0008.
Beautiful.
And now it's 0.015.
Yeah.
Let's go to Marvin. He's in Hackensack, New Jersey, listening to WVNJ. Hello, Marvin.
Yeah, hi. In regards to what you're talking about with medical use of cannabis, and it seems like laws always refer to recreational. And I always thought it would be best if it was referred to as personal usage.
I like that.
Sure. Yeah, because you might be using it for spiritual purposes.
Yeah. The term recreational, I have a problem with that. But one thing I want to know, could you say what was the federal law? When did it come into existence? And how did it refer to the substance?
Are you talking about the federal ban on cannabis from back in the 1930s? Yeah.
Well, whenever it was. What did it refer to?
Marijuana.
Cannabis.
Marijuana.
Yeah, they changed it from cannabis to marijuana.
Which is a slang term, as I understand it.
Yeah, so do you know what the exact law was, or was it
the Marijuana Tax Stamp Act? I believe is what it was called, 1937, if my recollection serves me.
So it has something to do with commerce, right? It's not.
That was a claim, was that they were taxing it basically, and you couldn't get the stamp. So in order to have marijuana legally, you had to purchase a tax stamp, which was not available.
Right, and it was
it only dealt with interstate things, then, right?
Originally, yeah, they did outlaw it under the Interstate Commerce Clause. That was one of the reasons, and that has been challenged and upheld by the Supreme Court in Gonzalez v. Reich in 2005. But it just should go away. There's absolutely no reason.
Go.
Right. The real hit that this thing took was when no pun intended, was when Nixon wanted to come up with a drug law or the war on drugs.
Yeah.
And when that happened.
That's when it ramped up, yeah.
Yeah, and when you scheduled it as being as dangerous as heroin, which is where it remains today,
Reagan wasn't any better, if you want to be honest. I mean, that's where we got the
just say no.
The fake. That's right. That's when you had the. That's when Reagan literally took the positive research about cannabis as medicine and threw it in the garbage, is what the people in the room said that happened, and then instead went with the other study where they asphyxiated monkeys with smoke and then go, oh, well, cannabis kills brain cells.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you pump
can't breathe.
it and no oxygen to someone for 3 hours solid,
that's what happens.
Yeah, that kills brain cells no matter what the smoke's made out of.
I think the only real positive, if you want to go by administrations, I was no fan of Obama, but under Obama, at least you had his attorney general come out and say that, no, we are not going to pursue federal cases against states that have legalized, and that's like the only positive thing that's happened towards marijuana at the federal level.
I'm going to disagree.
Go ahead.
Today or yesterday, Sessions comes out and says he's going to crack down, and what happened? The Republicans, of all people,
right?
The Republicans come out and they're like, no, we're not having this.
Really?
The GOP turned on Jeff Sessions over cannabis legalization.
It's beautiful.
Times are changing, huh?
Yeah,
That's
and we
right.
talked about it a little bit on Thursday night show that Sessions came out with this very confusing statement. He's rolling it back. But yeah, Will's exactly right. This has unified people against the government and in favor of states' rights.
Yeah.
Great.
I love it.
Can't happen soon enough. Marvin, thank you for your call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. I think some of these politicians have finally gotten the taste of the money they could make on this in their mouths.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they know.
Scary, too.
They know that even if their state doesn't legalize it right away, all they got to do is invest in some of those companies.
Right.
And now that California has legalized it for personal use, you're going to see a doubling of the market size, basically.
Right.
The legal market. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm. The latest edition of The Anarchist Experience is next on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm. Get more at anarchistexperience.com.
And we're back with another episode of The Anarchist Experience, episode 146, aka Season 2, episode 14. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Rich E. Rich, along with
MC.
That's right. MC is back yet again from all of his other worldly travels and other things throughout the holidays. So welcome back, MC. How have you been, man?
Oh, pretty good. Just chilling like a villain. I guess that's what I do nowadays.
Such is life, man.
Yep.
We've had private conversations about this, so I'm just going to put this on the air without revealing too much. I think I want to declare MC to be my new anarchist hero.
What did I do?
I'll tell you.
Don't tell anybody.
No. Again, I'm not going to say anything. But I've previously declared my other Facebook friend Jay Munster to be my anarchist hero because he lives the agorist lifestyle as best as I've seen demonstrated, at least here locally. Meaning he runs his own business, takes cash payments, avoids the state as much as possible. And I think that you, MC, have managed to surpass him in such a way where you've put yourself in a position to basically never really have to interact with the state again, right?
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I'm definitely not hero status yet. I'm not sure I really want to be.
You don't have to. Well, you don't get to choose who your followers are, man.
That's true.
Like Charles Barkley said it, I am nobody's hero, but at the same, or I'm not a role model, but at the same time, if people follow you, you kind of are.
I'm too lazy to reach the level that Jay does. So, maybe he would be, if he was in my position, he would be as lazy. But, I never took it that seriously. Like that wasn't my goal. My goal was just getting rich and yeah, that was pretty much it.
See, I wasn't even going to share that. But I will say this, like whatever your goal may have been, what you are currently able to do is my goal. So
okay,
that's why I would declare hero status.
All right. Well, do you want to announce the show like you normally do, or should I just get into the TSA issue?
No, jump right in, man. What part did I miss? It's been so long since we had this interaction.
I know.
I normally
numbers, but that's okay. We don't really need to. They're on the webpage, and people can see it on the Facebook anytime, and so it's not like people are shy about using the phone anyway.
That much is true.
So I kind of think, if people want to join on the podcast, just either send us a message or call us or whatever, and we'll set it up and we'll make an event out of it, and it'll be fun.
Another round table if you're local.
Yeah, right on.
Okay, if that's
anyway.
if all I forgot was the phone numbers, I have those handy. I'll just read them off real quick. So you can check that out at anarchistexperience.com at the top of the page. But the numbers are 303-335-9527 or 303-835-1301. That's 303-335-9527 or 303-835-1301. And yeah, the last 2-3 weeks I haven't had to give them out, so I just skipped it. But there they are. If you decide you want to call in next show, because you're not going to see that in time, you're not going to hear this in time to call in this week. So please, TSA traveling, motherfuckers.
Yeah, so I did my research before I went through the TSA checkpoint, leaving Honolulu, and had some gold coins with me, collector coins, of course, and
numismatic value.
Take them to my parents for them to hold on to for me, and in case apocalypse happens and Armageddon, all that stuff, and then maybe they could trade them for something in the future. So on the way through the checkpoint, they scanned my bag and they saw the gold coins, and they said, "Hey, whose bag is this?" And I said, "That's mine," with a big smile on my face, and they looked at me kind of weird, like, "Do you have some gold coins in here? Or do you have some coins in here?" I said, "Yeah, I've got some gold coins." And so they were happy. They were happy to catch somebody with something, like those evil gold coin holders,
Seriously.
But they were happy, like they were able to do something, because normally they're just looking at crap and they don't know what the hell it is, and they just let everything go through, right?
Right.
So they saw, big chunks of metal in my bag, and they were like, happy they found something. And so, of course, they, pulled me aside and opened my bag up, and they're looking at the gold coins. They opened the bag with the gold coins, and they're looking at them like, "Cool. Let me get the manager over here."
You should have told them they were Bitcoins.
Yeah. So the manager comes over, and he's like, "Oh, okay. You got some coins in there. That's neat." And everybody's attitude was just kind of happy and chipper. It was just really weird, like, why are you so happy to see somebody else's money? Like, I don't understand.
Because they're about to confiscate it.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So the manager says, where are you going? I'm like, Arizona.
The United States of America.
He's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess he's not going international. I guess when you're done, let him go. And she changed her attitude. She's like, huh? Like I did good. I caught the guy. and now you're just gonna let him go? And she's like, like that puppy dog look, like, huh?
Yeah,
tilted head sideways, like, what? Huh? I don't know what's going on. Where's the treat?
I've trained so long at the academy for this. I finally get to bust somebody.
Oh man, it was such a weird experience, It was like, and then she kept touching them and opening the bag and touching them and then closing it, and then she'd open it again, and then she saw the envelopes, and in the envelopes I had a whole bunch of. She said, "What's in the envelopes?" And I said, "Dollar bills,
Federal Reserve notes."
What? Dollar bills, yo. Oh, I thought she said something else. Like, no, like, yeah, dollar bills, like. So she started opening those. Like, wow, there's a lot of money here. Get the manager back over here. Manager comes over. Oh, yeah, there's some money in those envelopes. All right. So where's this going to? Like, my parents. I already told you that. Are you gonna go to Vegas or something? I said, well, if my parents want to, they can go to Vegas, but I don't think they're going to. So yeah, it's just Christmas with my parents, and. So then he's like, "Oh, well, same thing. I guess, when you're done, let him go. And she was still like, she was in shock. Like, what is going on? Like, why can't we harass this person more? So she kept me there for another 5 minutes, looking at the gold coins again, and let me go. And I was like, cool, all right, I'm out of here.
Nice.
And I got on the plane. Everything was fine after that.
Now let me ask you one a quick middle follow up question. Were you answering honestly to avoid further scrutiny, or because it didn't matter? I wouldn't answer. Okay.
I was answering honestly because that's what I was doing, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there's no reason for them to stop me.
That's true. So you felt safe, right? Because if it were me, I don't answer questions.
I don't know what else I would have said. I could have said, yeah, I'm going to Vegas, because that's what the default answer is, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what's expected.
Right, but it could also have been none of your business.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not answering questions.
True, but that would be more like a invitation, almost, not literally, but for being harassed more.
Right. That's why I'm asking.
This guy's being a smartass. So, and of course I don't want to be a smartass to them. I just want to go. Okay. my purpose of going through TSA wasn't to cause a problem. It was to go visit my family.
I'm on the same page as you, and I can guarantee that in the situation I would have acted like 100% the way you did. And I've got a trip upcoming too that you're aware of, and going through TSA, I will probably do exactly what you would have done and what you did in that situation. But it eats at me. It eats at my soul every time to do it, because in the back of my mind I go, that's how they get you. That's exactly that's why the TSA is what it is, and expanding at nonstop, because everybody that gets processed through that line just wants to get to where they're wanting to go. Right. And so to raise any sort of hell, or any sort the opt out movement, or the we will not fly movement, that came and went, because just no one's willing to support it, because it's so much easier to get x-rayed, to get cancer scanned, to answer their questions, and please just do whatever you want, take whatever you want, I just want to get on my plane, and if and there's no more movement behind that, and I'm complicit. Like I said, I'm not trying to say MC, you should have done it this way. It's just
I've seen people
irritating every time
do it the other way, and from what I've seen, the person says, okay, I'm opting out, and then they say, okay, somebody's opting out, and then they take them through separately, and it's not usually a big deal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, and sometimes, people, make it into a big deal, and then, it's a big, if for people who want to do that, that's fine. I don't care. I don't care about either party really, but, I don't know. I don't see it going away anytime soon. It's just weird, It's like the terrorists won. They've increased our travel time by 5 extra minutes or whatever it is to get to the TSA line.
In certain airports, in other airports, it's hours extra.
Right.
I mean, they back people up and they hold people up, and
sometimes. My experience has been pretty minimal impact on that, but
and and again, I'm just going to say that I think that's part of because it's like the Honolulu airport, right?
Right. And it could be that, but I went through Colorado Springs Airport and the Phoenix Airport and St. Louis, and
when I lived in Washington,
Puerto Rico.
I flew out of the Spokane Airport, and there's only 3 terminals. So TSA was it was us, and then 3 other dudes in line behind us. It just, they didn't process that many many people through.
Yeah. So I think most of the time it's not a big deal, but sometimes it is, and Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. It was an experience. It was weird. You know, the reaction from people was weird.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad it didn't become a thing, because we had, we had our private conversation ahead of time, and I was concerned because they could have easily made it a thing. Like if the person who initially handled you had been, the same demeanor, or if the manager had the same demeanor as the person who handled you, right. Then it would have been, even worse, right? Like, oh no, we need to call the police, we need to call the FBI because we're not sure how to handle this, right? This is out of our. We need someone with expertise in this area to come take a look before we let you move forward, and then make it out to be a thing.
That's one of the things that has happened, is that they are more experienced than they were, right when they started, and so I think that kind of thing happens less now.